we have to do a quick test here. I really wanted to kick straight into it, but unfortunately, swapping the stream account on YouTube side introduces a bit of potential issues. Looks like Twitch is up. Twitch chat, send a message. All right, cool. I see my mic on. Nice. And is this showing? Okay, it is. YouTube check. Excellent. Does seem like it's does seem like the YouTube check is working. Might not be syncing the chat. That's fine. I'll try to do my best to pay attention to it. I need even more monitors. 3 is not enough. All right. Excellent. The show on the road. Where are we at? What are we doing? What's happening? I haven't been live on this channel in God knows how long. And YouTube, when you look at the message, it says like last live. But you know, whatever. So Friday, I spun up Claude Fable 5 and I asked it to try to make me a thing. And I was very impressed with how much work was accomplished within just like an hour. But I did hit my context limit for the 5-hour window that Claude gives you. So I just logged off. Like I was this close to buying the next subscription. I should have done it, but I didn't. I was like, you know, I'll just prepare the house for some friends coming over. So I got off, did that, and then Fable was taken down. So from there, what I've done is I already had Fable create the plan as a continuation document. And so I then branched the repo in 3 different ways. And I had each repo pulled locally. And then I requested that an agent for 4.8, an agent for GPT 5.5, and an agent for Gemini 3.5 all read the design doc, read the roadmap, and attempt to continue the vision. And I explicitly told them to stay in their own branch, stay in their own lane, and that their output would be compared across the other models. I haven't looked at the results, really. I've kind of taken a tiny peek at them, but then I got hit with a tornado and lost power, so I didn't really get to go through them. So this is where the project's at, where it stands. And let's see if any of these models succeeded in completing the task at hand. So I already fired up Claude 4.8 and I asked it to double check. I explained the situation to it. I did continue the same context. So even though I've only sent it one prompt, I'm already at 25% of my context window because I had it keep the previous conversation. I did not have it summarized. I hate summarizing. Oh, excuse me. I hate summarizing in compaction. So I just refused to let it do it. So I explained it, even though I had all the message and history and everything. I went ahead and said, hey, I had you and 2 other agents all running at the same time in different directories. Ideally, you all worked on your own dedicated branches. Please review the Git history for our branch to make sure everything seems on the up and up. And let's go through what you created together. So it says, hey, we got these branches. This is where everything's at. GPT was a dum-dum and it made its own branch, even though it already had a branch made for itself. That's fine. And we're going to continue from there. So what did Claude 4.8 build for me in its last run? Is layered deliberately. Pure tested rules at the bottom, generation in the middle, network game on top, narrative over everything. Here's the map of the 9 commits worth of system, 34 test suites, all green. That sounds good. So rules core, pure deterministic, headless tested. Excellent. Dice, D100 roll under, difficulty tiers, bonus penalty dice, push rolls, luck, opposed rolls. See, the bonus penalty dice, push rolls, luck, and opposed rolls, I don't think has been done yet at the time that Fable stopped operating. So that might be some new behavior that we need to validate. Character rules, characteristics, derived stats, skill sheets, sure. Sanity checks, temporary, indefinite, and permanent insanity for like this session. Excellent. Bouts of madness is phobias, mania, has a phobia/mania table. All right, that was made this session. Oh, I see. It's saying this session, not as in like a gaming session, but as in like, or a play session. It's saying it was created in its last standalone run session. Okay. Combat attack/defense wounds, the weakness exploit payoff. I'm not sure. I do remember it saying at some point, I kind of scanned through it. I told it to run for 2 hours uninterrupted. Don't ask me for anything because I wouldn't be there. And I remember catching something like, I had to make an executive decision because the programmer's not there. Since Shini's not there, executive decision was something about like ignore all armor and double damage or something like that. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I was talking about, but that's fine. We'll see. Scenario generation. Oh, it made a world state. Interesting. Backward chaining generator that proves every scenario is solvable. Monster archetype with combat stats. Stats this session. Network game. So it's server authoritative. Game mode state, player state. Playable text loop. Time front. Plus doom clock. Sanity wired live. Sanity wiring was done this session. Okay. Storylet matcher with fact gating. Salience and seed picked variety. I don't know what the word storylet means, but that's fine. Also, this is new for it to have like 1 in a circle, 2 in a circle, 3 in a circle. Kind of neat. I like that output. It looks a little bit cleaner. The clickable investigation panel. So we've got a UI on it. Where would you like to start? I'd suggest one of A, the sanity system end-to-end since it's the newest and most Call of Cthulhu defining. The combat core and how weakness exploit closes the game core loop, or a top to bottom trace of a single action. Click a lead, server dice to see how the layer connects. Pick one or point me anywhere. Where would I like to start? Did I not include that I want to test it right here? No, I just said let's go through what you created together. Okay. I see. I'm going to fire up the Unreal Engine project, and do some testing. I want to validate the. I thought I saw something. I want to validate the. Interesting. It didn't say anything about isometric gameplay, which was one of the tasks that it was asked to accomplish. I'm going to fire up the Unreal Engine project and do some testing. I want to validate the functionality that you claimed to have created. Do you have any instructions for me when I go to do this? So testing the... what was put into the session? Testing the sanity, storylet, and scenario generation. So I will be testing. While I perform that test, did you fully complete the milestones that were left for us by Fable? And did you add any additional enhancements or encounter any bugs? Please create a continuation document for ourselves because the context limit is getting large and I will need to do a clear soon. All right. So we got that fired off over there. Let me go navigate to the game for this one. I believe that we were working under the initial games directory, and let me fire that off. There's some sort of movement on my right monitor that keeps catching my eye, but not in time for me to see what the hell the movement is. Probably just me, because I'm on my right monitor. Tip, use /permissions to pre-approve and pre-deny bash, edit, and MCP tools. No. Only approve. Dangerously skip permissions. Run, Claude, run! Alright, right off the bat, it doesn't mention anything about isometric gameplay, which was inside the list. Missing project settings. Shader model 6 is required to use virtual shadow maps. Please enable this in the project settings. Whatever, that's fine. I didn't even click dismiss. It moved. Oh, I just moved down here. Dismiss. All right, so here's our project. Super early, pretty basic. Nothing here. I don't know if I need to change like the map or anything. Like maybe it's created custom game modes. I'm not sure. All I know is to set the number of players to 2 and play as a listening server so we can validate that over the network calls are replicated accurately. Oop. I think I kind of want both of these to do a pop-up instead of like this. These buttons could be bigger, a little bit hard to see and interact with. All right, so basic premise is right now I've been working on the procedural generation for generating stories that would be used in Call of Cthulhu. And then Call of Cthulhu kind of is like a party-based investigation game that's got some like horror built into it. But like parties can split up. Right now, like there's nothing. It's just like the text space up in the top right? I sold it to consider like isometric gameplay similar to Baldur's Gate 3, because I would want like the players to be investigators that can navigate around the town, interact with stuff, and try to find clues. Right now, that's just done through the top right. And a part of it is like there's like a sense of like urgency and time before like the big bad thing happens. And so that is being tracked by like a doomsday clock, which is really just a clock in general. And for multiplayer, we want to make sure that all the players stay relatively synced. It was very strict about that syncing, and I pulled that away a little bit. Might have to go away from it entirely because, honestly, while it's like an important mechanic to how the tabletop thing works, keeping all the players together, it's just difficult to do in a way that's fun once it's transferred into a video game. But either way, this so we got 2 players here. They're over the network. Each one has their own case files, which is their own hints and stuff. And cool, they do have a sanity meter on them. Neat. So on the left guy, we're going to send him to the parlor. And now that lead changed, unfortunately for both. But we're early on. Like literally have only done an hour of supervised development under Claude 5 and 2 hours of unsupervised development 3 times, 1 for each agent. So let's see how things go. So the left guy went there, and now I see it notes up here like the day clock, and we're 60 minutes ahead, meaning like the rest of the party members haven't taken actions yet. Let's see if we can do another action. So we'll spot hidden now that we went to the parlor, and we were capable of doing it. And now it says we're waiting on the party. So this one has a 60 to 90 minute leniency on that, and it failed on the spot hidden. There's some dialogue here. I don't know if you can quite see it, but it says like keeper parlor rises ahead quieter than it has any right to be. Dust, cobwebs, in the sense of having missed something. Kind of neat. So I don't want to go to the, like, even though this character can interact with the parlor, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to set out for the tavern, watching the road behind you. Ooh. So when I click that, Now this automatically updated to being 30 minutes ahead. So the replication's working, and we can see the messages are being sent back and forth. The keeper messages are individual specific, but the dice rolls are being replicated around, showing that we're keeping the world state in sync between the two players. And you can also tell that by the leads being kept in sync. All right, we'll come back over here and do another spot hidden. Another failure. Let's just set up. Wait. Did we go to, yeah, we went to the tavern over here. All right, so we'll spot hidden on the tavern. Oh, hey, look at that. We found a key. So now I'm just going to take the key and work at banded strongbox until it gives. Interesting. I don't know how I knew about the strongbox, but we could apparently use locksmithing or just use the key that we have. And this didn't appear before, so I'm just going to use the key that we have. And yields with a reluctant click. All right. But now the box is gone. So something's a little off there. We didn't get any hints or nothing. Okay. That's probably going to be something with like the facts and the world state requirements in order to use this. All right, whatever. On the other side, let's spot hidden at the parlor some more. Failed. Spot hidden at the parlor. Fail. Oh, hey, look. We found a bundle of letters. All right, we're just going to take the bundle of letters. Oh, we cannot because we're too far ahead. All right. Well, on the other side, let's go to the garden. It gives us some time, so now we can take the bundle of letters. We can read them, which takes about 60 minutes. Or we can use library use. Weird that we would need to use any skill to read some letters, but who knows how old they are. Let's go ahead and click it. Hey. And we had an extreme success. It comes together at last. The Tideborn cannot abide the chimney suit. Oh, yeah. All right, and you grasp how little time is left. By day 2 at noon, it will be beyond stopping. Ooh, spooky. So that hint gave us its weakness and the timeline. So we have until noon on the next day. This person, though, doesn't know those things. So we would need some way for the characters to meet up and share. Maybe I should take that. Maybe I should take notes. That would make sense. File, new tab. Notes on Claude 4.8's run. Unsafe. Get out of here. All right. Hey. So, one, there is no isometric gameplay. Pretty sure that was a requirement in there. When we got the key, the ability, it said we opened the box. It said the box gave way with the click, but we did not get the contents of the box. Players need a way to share their case files if they meet up. There needs to be a way for players to meet up. What's up, Zelda? How you doing? So yeah, we replicated everything. Looks good. So this one is waiting on the party. So this guy over here will now comb the walled garden. Nothing. Just skip it. All right. So we got that. We found a journal here. We can just take it. We can pour over the water stain journal by lamplight. Ew. Some nice reading. And we open it, and now this guy also knows about the chimney suit and the deadline, and they acquired it through a different story. So, or a different quest line. That's nice. Had some sanity loss. I don't know what. Oh. The sanity loss happened from reading the book because it's a terrible, scary book. All right. Neat. This does a good job at proving out the basics of the gameplay. It's just not fun yet. But we got a decent bit of the engine itself created. So that's excellent. What else was there for me to test? We can see that the sanity's going down, but we can't see if the person's gone insane, right? So it's saying go to the project 2 players net mode plays listening server, use the on-screen leads button or the console to backtick. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to use this. I mean, they're there, but the issue is it's all in 32 based or whatever. Like you provide the index of the action, and I don't have a list of the indexes in action, so it makes it a little difficult to use that, right? Scenario generation dumps the generated archetype randomized weakness, the clue chains, and any locking key, but in the deadline, restart for a fresh scenario, pin 1 with the map option seed in. Oh, that's nice. Story lets leads and result messages should read as prose, not interview the widow hail. Prose. Prose? What? Define prose. Does that mean sentences? Ordinary speech. I've never heard. Who the hell? I say prose is in pros and cons list. It says prose is in ordinary speech. That ain't ordinary speech. All right. Let's keep it going. The intimidated witness in one lead, then interview with them on another. The prose should shift the hostile variant. Different seeds should vary the wording. All right. Let's actually add a comment on that. If the party does a intimidate on someone and it fails, then you probably cannot continue the conversation with them unless it's by a party member who was not present the first time. Need to track player location. So that they cannot interact with leads all over the place. That's good. Currently, no way to go and use the weakness on the monster. These are just notes. These all might be things that are tackled in future functionalities and features, but for now, our future milestones. For now, I'm just taking every note that I can while we go. One expectation to see is the combat is not playable in the pie. Oh, nice. I built and unit tested the combat rules and gave monsters stat blocks, but there's no fight the monster action wired in the loop yet. That waits on the turn flow design below. So you're validating sanity, storylet, scenario gen, which is exactly your list. I guess I couldn't validate. Could not validate what happens with large sanity drops and reaching 0 sanity. Since the oh my god, I can't type, are so small for testing. All right, enhancements I added beyond the ass. The Doom deadline becoming discoverable. Monster stats, blocks, bridging, generator, combat. A reusable F-prov dice expression. Bouts broadcasting to the whole party, and sanity replicating to the HUD. Those are really good enhancements. So thank you. 4.8 bonuses. All right, so let's just add that. We'll put bonuses in its own category, so it's a little bit easier to see the bonuses in the notes. Bugs encountered exactly 1. A build error. Reference the F-prov sanity loss without a declaration. The included was in the CPP, fixed with a forward declaration. No other build issues, no runtime bugs. In headless testing, the important caveat, I could not human verify the live sanity wiring in the pie. Only the rule cores have unit tests. So your test session is the first real end-to-end validation of the wiring. The sanity check, HUD drop, or broadcast misbehaves. That's the most likely place to find a surprise. Grab the log providence output and we'll trace it. Go test, and when you're back, post /clear docs continuation will get us both reoriented instantly. Excellent. Let me also continue into here and see what is in the docs. So on the roadmap, I guess I will open the roadmap with Visual Studio Code. We have access to what it should have been doing and completed. So it says that it adds that as an enhancement, but to be fair, I thought M5 was over and I told it to move to the next milestone, and then I kind of requested it to go back to that milestone, and it seems like it might not have successfully gone back after I told it to go forwards, but that's my mistake because I misunderstood what the hell it was saying. This is because Claude 5, Fable got shut down during this milestone, and so I was trying to recover it, and I botched that recovery, apparently. All right, story-led delivery, story-led data model matcher, match by action type. Starter library is the code built. Go to get read unlock interview pros, plus a higher salience. Find salience. That's fine. Wired into the game mode. Variety. Find best takes a variety salt among equal salient. Matches it picks deterministically. Interesting. Clue reveal pros. Learning the weakness now reads it comes together at least. Pretty. We'll have to. I think make it to where I do want there to be difficulties, and it's self-aware of this. Like that journal is only on low difficulty, and we're playing on low difficulty because it's kind of like a logging system that's being exposed to us. On higher difficulties, I might not want it to be so blatantly obvious. Like maybe the journal entry just says something like, "The monster." We boarded up our windows. We were held here trying to hide out through the night. We knew the monster was outside, but what we forgot about was the chimney. And as the monster came down through the chimney, it reeked out in pain, and it slammed it as it hit the bottom. It was just writhing. It couldn't get the dust off of itself, and it screeched out in horror and seemed to like vanquish. But we could tell it wasn't fully gone. Or something like that, and then you'd be like, "Oh, well, what the hell happened there?" Like then you would have to figure it out. I think that would be excellent, very immersive and engaging for the player. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Oh, hey, look, easy mode, case journal ID. Hey, look at that right there. More storylets. Yeah, eventually the storylets author entity displays names too, not just reuse debug name. Sure, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, so it skipped the M7 isometric play entirely. That's fine. Sanity core done early in Claude 4.8 ahead of M7. Ahead. Oh, so it built in the sanity ahead, and then maybe it didn't go back. Sanity rules, bouts of madness, wired live, cool. Now more sanity triggers, seeing the monster, forbidden tomes, corpses, scripted horrors. Yeah, so all that needs to be incorporated in. Balances author to storylets, not just one-line summaries. Perfect. First per client, unreliable perception effect. Yeah, so that's a thing coming in later. Don't worry about that now. All right, turn-based combat. So it built out the system it claims and tested it, but we don't have any way to actually verify it. M10 vertical slice. Full loop, 2 players, generate, investigate, deduce, weakness, confront, epilogue. Win and lose paths feel authored. Playtest for fairness for the clue chain. Sequencing rationale. Rules before network proof. Rules before network proof. The M1 and M2 because the dice engine is small and testable. Generator M3 through 4 before any 3D content because it's the highest risk system and works headless. 3D presentation is M7. Deliberately late. Everything before it is verifiable through test and text logs, which is where Claude iterates fastest. I believe all of those were notes that were put into place when Fable was operating. What's in the continuation doc? I want to make sure that we got this. Where we are. Remote test build, multi-agent note. Neat stuff. Hey, Dragox, what's up? Thanks for coming in, man. You came in at a awesome time. That awesome time is time for me to go use El Baño. So, un momento, por favor. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you being here. I'm pretty excited about this, so I'll catch you up. 1 second. Too much Mountain Dew. Oh, my doggy. All right. Sorry about that. Wait, what the hell was that? That feels funny. All right. Nothing. Oi. Hey, jokes. You still there? You still chilling? What's happening, my guy? Oi. All right, what's the continuation here? This is about the system map, about the milestone statuses. Needs editor content work. Gray box camera, click to move. V1 design decisions made autonomously without me being there. All right. This is what I need. Weakness exploit, bypass the target's defense and double damage. That was fine. Sanity trigger. The only live sanity check currently fires when an investigator comprehends the weakness. That should not be a sanity thing. That should be like almost like a sanity gain because you did something good. Time front tolerance. That's good. Small leads never lock you. Only 60 months. Only large leads do. This is good. It helps the game be more smooth whenever you're playing it in a multiplayer setting, you know? I'm trying to manage my cable here. That's getting in the way of my cups. There we go. Just chilling and eating lunch. Nice! What's for lunch, Dragos? Ow. No limitations. Things not to mistake for bugs. Maybe I need a notes on the Claude and it's like missed, additional, and future follow-ups. Some form of sanity regeneration. All right, let's put that down. I like all these things. Bugs encountered in the session. That doesn't seem that important. How to validate in Pi. Okay. Shows the archetype randomized weakness. Seems pretty good. Suggested next steps. Yes, this is what I want. Highest value and needs the user design is the combat flow. How encounters start, turn order, then wire the tested combat core, a monster's stats into the live loop so you can fight and win by exploiting the bane. This closes the whole core loop end to end. Cheaper wins, more sanity triggers, rest actions, HP recovery, decide sanity recovery policy, more storylets per archetype flavor, easy mode, and the case journal projections. Rice with chicken. Ooh, hey baby. Dryox, have you ever played any tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons or Call of Cthulhu? Or have you played Baldur's Gate 3? Okay. All right. So I think it's suggesting that I go ahead and do a reset on its brain right now. However, I kind of don't want to do that because I'm totally fine with just blowing away my tokens. Let me check what my usage is at right now. I don't want to run out of usage mid operation like I have had happen once already. We're only at 27%. So it used 25% loading the conversation, and it's used like 1% per message that I've sent since then. So I think we're actually good to keep it as is. All right. One of the ideas I have is maybe they should make a in editor. I forget the term for it. Maybe I can try to find that real quick. It's like library, museum. Maybe I put it in my watch later. I hope. Oh no, now I'm on the wrong account. I can't check it. Maybe. Oh, I can check it on my phone. All right, let's see if I can't find that because I put that on my GG Shini. I think is when I saw it. Oh, my phone is logged into a completely different account. Maybe I put it on this one. Did I watch it on my phone? Did I watch it on the computer? Who the hell knows? My phone has been watching a lot of... That explains why it gets totally different contents all the time. All right, let me switch over to GG Shini, which almost has 1,000 subs. Hell yeah. All right, now can I look at my history? I'm an old man. I don't know how to use this shit. Where's all the stuff? It was a while ago. Playlist would be my watch later question mark. Is watch later a thingy on here? No, these are my playlist. They're my videos. History. Let me search for Unreal. Why don't you get an outline effect? It's AI generated blueprints, a bird, more bird stuff, gas. No, son of a bitch. All right, we're gonna have to do some good old fashioned Googling. All right. I gotta know the term so I can tell the AI to do it. If I don't know the term, then I can't tell the AI how, like promptly what I want. Unreal Engine, in editor documentation. I think it's museum versus. Let's just send that. Well, let's give me the rest of it. Let's give me everything that I need. It's not. It's not. Let me actually throw this into Google then. Google.com. Unreal Engine 5. In editor documentation. Museum. And is it library? Let me see. I know I saved this somewhere. Fuck. In editor, help access a menu, learning museum and library applications. No, it's thinking of building a literal museum. What do they call it? They call it something. It's got a specific word. Unreal Engine 5 maps that go over the game function, the library functionality in editor are called what? What's it called? Demonstration map that goes over the blueprint functionality are called the content example maps. They act as an interactive museum. Thank you. So it is called the museum. Then why was it not finding it before? Okay. Sorry about that. Derailment. All right. Are there any changes I need to make to the editor's game mode or map when I am doing these tests? Where's my notepad at? Notepad. All right. Home. I validated the functionality is working really well for what I can see. I have a couple examples. I mean rice, just chilling, eating. I have a couple There are a few minor nitpicks. To resolve. When we get the key and open the box, we do not get the contents of the box. Maybe there is a fact. I think it's called fact. Maybe there's a fact that requires us to have the key, but the key was consumed. Players need a way to share their case files with the meetup. No, that's not a part of what it was asked to do. There needs to be a way for the players to meet up. That's not part of what it was asked. If the party does an intimidation, that might be a future state. I think that's the only real one that I want done right now. It's currently no way to go and use the weakness on the monster. It already knows that. Cannot validate what happens with a large sanity drop. I could not validate what happened with a large sanity drop or multiple small sanity drops. Due to the nature of these small demo scenarios. Due to the nature of the scenarios being small for rapid demoing and playtesting. Are there any changes I need to make to the editor's game mode or map when I am doing these tests? Have you considered making a what did I just call that? What was the specific term? Let me get that again. How did it phrase it? Making a documentation map for testing and debugging various functionalities like combat, sanity, stats, replication, so on. These maps tend to be called museums. That could become a future milestone if it's not appropriate for us to begin that work now. Since I'm mostly just chatting with it. This isn't a very good prompt. It's not one that I am happy with. I'm just kind of brain dumping at the moment, which I tend to want to only provide orienting context and then let it derive things. And I'm viewing the brain dump as that context in a way. So that was the minor nitpick that I really wanted to resolve. And then maybe some form of sanity regeneration. Let's see how it chugs along here. What it comes up. Oh shit, I got the game still running. I can't do anything while the game's still running. At least it was still processing on Claude's side and not trying to make operational changes on our side. Right, validation results, and these are exactly the right nitpicks. Let me dig into the box bug first. Concrete needs the code. Then answer your map question and the museum idea. Let me read the generator's lock and key logic to diagnose precisely rather than guess. Okay. Sounds good. While it's doing that, I suppose I could start to fire up some of the other instances. So I also have anti-gravity going here, and it thinks that we're working on the Tarkov overrule app, which is really hilarious. Anti-gravity is hosting Gemini 3.5. Oh, let me toggle the switch. And the first prompt I sent it was, do you have any memory from our web browser interactions? And it goes, yeah, you were developing a Tarkov Overwolf app. And then it just made the session about that. And I was like, no, that's not what we're doing. I was just curious if that continued over. And then we went from there. So this one might have finished better. I don't know that I can run the Unreal Engine even if it's from a different directory. Probably could. So we've got the Gemini and the Codex. This one is on Gemini, so I can fire up the Gemini. Gemini refused to work on its own. I don't know what is going on with this freaking anti-gravity nonsense here, but like even in the settings on like permissions, I set it to, wait, what? There was a turbo mode here. I'm pretty damn sure. Maybe I shouldn't have my settings displayed. I'm a little nervous that I might accidentally reveal something. I guess I'll navigate over on the side. Yeah, no, conversations. Security preset turbo mode means it will, this controls terminal out, auto execution policy and file policy. In turbo mode, is a high-risk mode that disables all safety barriers, and yet it was still always stopping at every instance for me. I don't know if it needs to have an entirely new conversations created or what, but it was so frustrating because every single file edit, every single file read, everything required me to click a button, and eventually I noticed it just gave up. It kept spinning over and over again. They have this repo is a different repo for it. It has its own roadmap, and on this roadmap, it just like it was stuck on the start. It was stuck in the 5.5. See, it didn't even mark the next one. Oh, interesting. It's not showing them it's done at all here. Weird. It didn't persist that. That's awkward. That's very awkward. Maybe it was its own task that it was persisting. But yeah, it wasn't. It put check boxes in through M5, and it had one checkbox in M6, and it just kept spinning, and then eventually it just checked every single box and said, we're done. And it just shut off. And I was like, sus. Very, very awkward, very strange. Let me try to keep, oh, I know what to do. I can pull this out over onto this screen. There, now I will have both chats on the same side. And it will work perfectly until I go to ban a bot. What the hell have you been doing? It says 1 minute. You were running for more than 1 minute. Did you restart yourself? Lock document chain. The document is revealed by a separate search action while the strongbox is open. Is just bolted as on as an extra gate. So opening the box doesn't yield anything. The contents of the documents are tied to the box, aren't tied to the box at all. If you open the box without having separately searched, it never becomes available. If you did search, the connection feels arbitrary. Your missing fact instinct was right. The fix is to make opening the box reveal its contents. Let me wire that. All right, cool. Now let me verify the fix keeps every scenario solvable. Excellent. The museum idea, yes, and it's the right instinct. Wait. Finally fixed. While it builds, let me answer your other two questions directly and set up the museum work. Excellent. Your map game mode question, no changes needed. The prof game mode is wired in the global default game mode in the default engine any. So it applies to any map automatically. The whole scenario is generated in an init game and the HUD widget are set by the game mode. So a blank default map works fine. There's nothing per map or per test to configure. Excellent. That's actually why the museum idea fits cleanly. Dedicated test map would just be alternate levels you load. All driven. Hey, I was reading that. I was reading that. All driven by the same game mode, or a debug subclass. The museum idea, yes, and it's the right instinct. You hit the exact problem it solves. Real scenario and small fast, so you couldn't exercise a big sanity drop. Stack small drops or combat at all. Combat isn't even reachable in the pie yet. A museum test bed is how studios validate exactly these scenarios. My recommendation, split it. Now, a museum v0, a few debug console commands that call the already tested rules directly, force a sanity loss of any size, dump your full stat sheet, and run a combat exchange against the generated monster. Cheap, low risk, and it... Motherfucker. Cheap, low risk, and it unblocks your current validation, sanity, edge case, and combat. Future milestone in the real museum, dedicated documentation maps with interactive state. It doesn't always do this, where it kicks it down. And the times it does it, being now, it seems to be for like the entire session. Like it will not stop. All right. Let me confirm the build is green. I'll wait for the background. Build green, running the scenario. Suit 100 or 1,000 seeds, all solvable. I wonder how good this is actually. But that's fine. Compiling the debug commands. I'll verify, run the full suite, then commit both the box fit and the museum v0 with doc updates. Cool. Oh yeah, and having a doc will be very helpful. And it's adding in the new museum. Excellent. Known limitations / things not to mistake for bugs. Okay. All right. So I think we're about ready to move on to the next model. I'm going to let this one finish out. While I was previously running all three simultaneously, I don't want to do that right now because I want to focus my mental window and my brain resources on things one at a time. So let's get this in a good state. Bold nitpicks resolved and the museum kicked off. What I just did was box content bugs fixed. Museum v0 is a debug console verbs. Your map question, no editor change needed. On the museum, recorded as N11 roadmap. Excellent. The continuation doc is updated with the fix, the new verbs, the corrected limitation, so you're safe to do a clear whenever. When you come back, that doc and the roadmap will reorient us instantly. Enjoy the rest of your testing. Try Prov Debug Sanity 6 and Prov Debug Fight 1 first. Those show off the two systems you couldn't reach before. Sure. Let's see some new systems. Repo, Providence, launch the project. Fire it up. All right, this guy's got the lowest sanity at 40, so a 6 hit's going to be quite a lot. Let's see what happens. So it's backtick, and then prov, san, question mark. Get that off my screen. Prov debug san. All right, prov debug san 6. Your mind buckles. You babble in a cadence no one present can place and will not be hushed. That's a good bout of madness. That's pretty good. All right, let's try this again. Backtick. But instead of 6, let's do 16. The day's horrors have broken something lasting in you. Down here, interesting. Clause at the. This is different message. Is this getting a different message? Oh, this is. No, it's up there as well. Oh, it's 2 lines. Okay. Claws at their arms as though to be rid of the skin. They're no longer entirely themselves. Oh, yeah. Your mind buckles. Wait. It said it twice. Maybe there's not a lot of options. Right now. I hit the N key. That's fine. Let's fire it back up and do it again. That's nice. That's good. That's good. That's good. Prov, debug, sanity. Oh, sanity. Oop. Try that again. Prov, debug, sanity. Let's go 10. Sanity check failed. You lost insanity. Your mind buckles, lashes out at whoever stands closest. Friends, strangers, it makes no difference. Okay, so over here it's in a gray text. And then over here it says, your mind buckles. I guess we have that as well. Nice. Let's try another one. Even more. Your mind buckles. You whore every loose object with reach, snarling if anyone comes near. The day's horrors have broken something lasting in you. And we are listed as unwell. Is no longer entirely themselves. That's funny that this one has that listed after the hordes, but this one doesn't have it listed after the hordes. Maybe this is like an observation of that other player. So there was a debug. Debug fight. Okay, we hit tab to autocomplete, space, and then 1. The Revenant rakes you for 4. Your HP would be 9 out of 13. Debug exchange only. No state persisted. Real turn-based combat is M9 flow. Oh, okay, so we can't really do it, but we get to see a little bit about it. That's kind of nice. All right. That's exciting. I like this. You know what I don't like? My baby bladder. I will return momentarily. Stupid Mountain Dew running through me, but I'm addicted to caffeine. I'll be right back. Boy, I'm already doing it. Yeah. All right. I have an idea. I know what needs to be done. Okay. So I want to switch over and start checking on what some of the other models outputted to see where they're at, how they did. I got a pretty good idea of how Claude 4.8 has worked. And it's been pretty easy to work with Claude 4.8. Admittedly, I have a lot of experience with this model with my job. I don't really have any experience with any of the other models. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Before we switch over, I do want to do one thing though. I think I do want to have it operating or working. Because it can do that in the background while I check the other ones since I have them all in different directories. Would you advocate that I do a clear before we begin milestone 7? I am really eager to see what you come up with. There for fleshing out the gameplay. But I want to get it working on milestone 7. If it starts working on it automatically, cool. If it wants me to clear spraying, cool. I tend to not do any clears. I just let my window build up, and I try to avoid compaction. Speaking of which, I need to get my computer status line to be the same as my work status line. My work status line is so good. Hey, let me just fire this up. CD G. No, not the recycle bin. Sure, G. Claude. And up arrow. Dangerously skip. Can you please update the status line to show useful information? Information. Not limited, including but not limited to the branch, directory, model, context, percent, cost. Cool, it'll work on both sides. Yes, I advocate clearing before M7, and I feel strongly about it for specific reasons, not just context is long. Why clearing M7 is a true milestone boundary and a different kind of work. It's been headless C#. Okay. Wait, what are you doing right now? What high leverage thing to do first? The M7 has real design forks that I'd rather frame now, while the content is rich than derived cold. Chiefly, how the abstract scenario graph becomes physical 3D space. So let me capture an M7 kickoff brief to the repo before you clear. It's also literally the fleshing out gameplay you're eager about in a durable form. Okay, fine. Yeah, see, that's why we ask questions, okay? That's the thing that I've learned the most about models. Yo, what's up, Jay Spiffy? What are we testing? Sorry for asking. No, you're good to ask. I enjoy the conversation. So the scenario that we have right now is on Friday, I started using Fable, and I only used it for about an hour, and it generated so much awesome functionality. And then I hit the context limit. I was this close to buying to keep going, and I was like, you know what? I got some friends coming over. It's Friday. I'll clean the house and stuff and get prepared for them, and I'll jump back on at 10, give it another big task. It'll blow through the 5-hour context window, and or limit, I should say, not window, limit, because you can only use so much tokens per 5-hour rolling window. And whenever I log back on at 10, Fable 5 will shut down because the government hates me. They did it just for me. They're like, no, Shini can't make a game. Fuck him. That's exactly why they did it. Every other reason is false. And so now what I've tried to do on Saturday, we went out, did some cool stuff. Me and the girlfriend, fiance, we went out and did some stuff and then returned back. And before going on dinner break, I knew it was going to be a large dinner or a long dinner with her and her family. And so I set up like a gauntlet for the AIs. I forked the project that Fable had created into 3 different directories. And I was like, okay, you can see its plan, its game direction, and everything that I had set out because I asked it to make continuation documents in case something like this happened. And I was like, review Fable's plan and you implement it. And I told it, like, you're going up against, like, I'm doing this for multiple different models, and I'm going to see where everything is. And, yeah, don't cheat. Don't look at the other directories, and don't mess with the other directories, and you have your own branch. So have at it. I've only reviewed 4.8 right now and did a little bit of back and forth on it. And I'm about to switch over, and we'll check another one right now. So that's where we're at. That's what we did. It was so good. It was so good. And yeah, basically what Fable generated is almost only what we have. So I'll go ahead and fire it up. This is in the 4.8 repo. So it's done a little bit of extra work on it. But again, most of this was already established by Fable. And the little bit of extra work it's done is really just a little bit. But it's like a tabletop experience. So it built out the dice engine. It built out the multiplayer replication. And that's pretty much where it's at. It's text-based at the moment. Ideally, it'll be like the M7, the milestone 7 was super generic. It's not enough details, but Fable could work with such little details. It was just like, make an isometric gameplay similar to Baldur's Gate 3. Like, that's all the milestone 7 details it has. And I believe if it didn't get shut down, that it would have just done it, because I've been super impressed with the fact that I was like, hey, can you make me generated stories based off of this 2011 academic paper and then mix in South Park style of storytelling on top of it? And it was like, yeah, no problem. Snap fingers and it was done. And that's what we're looking at over here with the leads. So it's like, if the players were investigators and you got to go figure out what the hell is happening. It's Call of Cthulhu premised, if you're familiar with that scenario at all. And if you're not, then it's just a storytelling thing, and that's fine for now. So if you get like a time up here in the top left, I'm sure it's hard to see on the screen. But so it's like day 1 at 8 a.m. and we can make your way to the library. So we click that. This player went to the library. It denotes it's 60 minutes ahead, because if the other player on the right then moves to the records office, now they're both in sync, right? And the clock is now 9 o'clock in the morning. And then as you do things, you're doing dice rolls in the background and stuff, and you're trying to find clues for whatever the mystery may be. And yeah, it's pretty neat. You're back on GPT 5. I haven't used 5.5 until last night, and I haven't really reviewed its content. I think I was going to review Gemini, because I think Gemini fucking sucked the most, dude, which makes me sad, because I actually am paying a lot for Gemini, because I'm a sucker. I need to cancel that subscription is what I need to do. You're clear to clear, everything prepared, document 7 kicked off. Defeat your eagerness. Here's the heart of what I put in the brief approach. So I want to get Claude 4.8 working on this thing that it missed. It literally just skipped a milestone. It said, that milestone's too hard. I don't want to do it while you're gone, because it's going to require a lot of interaction with you. And it just skipped it. My honest expectation, M7 is the milestone where the labor split flips towards myself. I can autonomously build all the gameplay framework, C++, isometric camera pawn, click to move, location interaction pawn, a spawner that drops the generated scenario into the level, and even a programmatic gray box so we can playtest the full 3D loop before any artist exists. But real geometry, lighting, nav mesh baking, and does it feel good are going to be up to for you to do in the editor. We'll be working in tandem more than I have been. 2 forks I'll want your call on first thing. Post clear, they're in the brief. 1, fixed gray box manner that the generator populates versus generator-driven architecture. I recommend the former first, since procedural layout is its own hard problem worth deferring. And then manner versus multiple sites, recommended 1 for the first slice. Go ahead and clear whenever. When you come back, just say, let's start M7, and I'll read the kickoff brief, and we'll settle those 2 forks and build incremental. Increment 1, being camera, click to move. This is the fun part, turning the proven machine into a place you actually walk through. All right, sure. Let's fire it off. Flash clear. Let's start M7. I'm guessing it's going to read those and then ask me to answer those questions that it just asked me up front. It's like, hey, we're going to need these things answered. So let me provide those answers, and then we'll skip over to Gemini, which has been a shit show, as far as I know. Maybe it actually did fantastic. I haven't looked at its output. I just know that it didn't actually run when I left, and so I came back and I had to sit here and keep hitting next, even though I put it in like turbo mode and told it to run on its own. So I don't know what the hell it was doing. Let's go with the one manner for now. We will want it to be procedural in the future. So mark that as its own milestone. We will also want items procedurally generated throughout the map, such as think comparable to loose loot in Tarkov, or how Baldur's Gate 3 has random items to loot, and steal. Except this is a investigation game. So it's more like random items to read and learn about to make the world feel real. Fix gray box. Yeah, we can do. Wait, was it not asking the exact same thing before? Aren't these both the same thing? All right, fine, whatever. Fix gray box. The last thing will ground it. Yeah, the first one is going to ground it. That's what I'm looking for. Fixed angle, rotatable camera. I want it to be rotatable. I want it to be isometric, but you got to be able to spin. BG3 isn't fixed. You can move it around. Rotation can be added later if needed. Player can orbit rotate the camera. More flexible framing, but more input handling and room readability must hold from all angles. Why, thank you. I got a pizza. The pizza.
Good with that?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. 5.5 mostly coded all of your projects. Ooh. Gemini 4, it would be a good idea to format my mate's drive. He lost a couple of days of work. Oh my God, no. That sounds like a nightmare. I do not have it running in a sandbox. I don't have anything running in a sandbox because I'm a lunatic. I trust the AI too much. Claude has been very trustworthy, to be fair. And it's the only one I've primarily interacted with. That's too hot. Hey, can I have a napkin? I do want a rotatable camera. Maybe it's best to not have a rotatable camera. I just hate isometric games where I can't rotate. But it does mean that I don't know. I'm giving it that. I'm giving it that. It was a bit upset. I do fully vibe code. I'm dyslexic, so it's amazing. Dude, I'm dyslexic as well. It was never an issue until it was. All right, let's move on. Oh, you see my status line down here? It's updated. It looks so nice. Repo, Opus 4.8, context 19, 21%. All right, 21%. We just started. $20. That's fine. I paid $20 for this. Cool. This thing's updated. Don't need that terminal. Get out of here, terminal. Oh, yeah. This game, I kind of want to play. It looks really fun. I know nothing about it, so I shouldn't even say it looks fun. I just saw a thumbnail on YouTube that said Pokemon meets Spore. And I was like, fuck yeah. And then I saw that you were like running around and jumping as like a lizard shooting shit and you evolve. And I was like, cool. My only downside is it's not multiplayer, but that's fine. All right, Gemini, what do you got for me? What do you got for me, BB? So I opened back up anti-gravity. It thinks it named the conversation something ridiculous. Wow, so you tell me you built all that out. All right, let's see here. How should I go about testing this? So this I sent it yesterday, before my power outage. Adjust the camera, y'all, while keeping it. All right, so to test the isometric camera controls, server authoritative movement, and client local sanity mechanics in the Pi, or a running client, you can use the Unreal Engine developer console, press the tilde key to open it. Here are the registered console commands and how they function. Why do I have to rotate the camera through a function command? Why can't I rotate the camera through mouse controls? There's a camera zoom, server authoritative movement, testing sanity effects and hallucinations. All right. Whatever, let's fire up, see what Gemini made for me. Speaking of which, this is a bookmarking clip for if I actually make this into a long form video. Clip. And then that's a note for the editor whenever he's like, why the fuck did he clip this? He wants me to turn this into a short? Is he stupid? But I forgot, it takes 5 seconds. He won't have the note because I didn't wait. I hit the button. You gotta say it, wait a few seconds, and then hit the button. Oh, God, he's gonna be thinking that. He's gonna be like, what the hell? He clipped this for me to make a thing. All right, so this one is Providence, which is apparently the code name that Claude Fable came up with, which I like it. It's good, good code name. All right, Providence on the Gemini side. Let's see what we're cooking with. We'll need to validate all the base other functionality. Though, make sure it's all still there. All right, I did already change this over to the 2-in-1, so I've tested it once. Let's see here. I think, yeah, Gemini is the one that I think didn't do a damn thing. I think it got pissed off at itself and just marked everything as done. These buttons are easier to read, so that's nice. All right, let's go to the attic. Keep the spot hidden. All right, so you're still occupied for 30 more minutes. So this one has only a 30-minute lenience, it seems. Click on that. Spot hidden. We did a fumble. Luckily, I don't think there's any particular pain points for that. All right, we got a thing. Now we're 30 more minutes ahead, so we got to wait on this side. We spot hidden a what? The part to uncover the surveyor's notebook. And we do have the notebook to interact with, question mark. Yeah, unlock the banded strongbox with the tarnished key. All right, unlock. Can't do it because it's over. All right, this guy, unlock it. Unlock it. You don't have, I don't have the key. All right, so this one has an idea of player inventory. That's nice. All right, well, we'll search the attic. Since we're here, we'll search the attic again. We'll keep searching the attic. We can't search the attic no more. All right, other guy, let's open the box with the key. You don't have the prerequisites. What do you mean I don't have the prerequisites? We just got the key. All right, first note for Gemini. Notepad. Notes. Notes on Gemini. When I searched for the key, when I did a spot hidden, I found a key. Which unlocked the lead for the strongbox. However, when I tried to use the strongbox, it said that I do not have the prerequisites. Fuck you, I don't know how to spell. Okay, I'm a programmer. Scoot over. I know how to spell. All right, hold on. It's prerequisites. Yeah, see, I definitely didn't look at it up there. Shut up. Fuck you. All right, prerequisites. All right, let's keep going. It's got a different, it determined a different, what would you call it? Tolerance, the 30 minutes, that's fine. It clearly indicates if we're ahead or not, so that's good. Spot hidden, keep doing this. Gotta wait. Just keep spamming it until we get something. Oh, we got a critical. The party pocketed the unsent confession. All right, let's try to read the unsent confession. After succeeding in reading the unsent confession, we have a case file on the left side alone, which is stating the weakness is a child's lullaby, I think. Something like that. Kind of hard to see. But so we did find, oh yeah, it's up here. Weakness, a child's lullaby. All right, cool. So that's procedurally generated. It's random. Makes sense. I don't know what the monster is, but we got that. So that's cool. This one's 55 more minutes. So he's occupied for 55 minutes because he's that far ahead. All right, let's go to the chapel. Now it's 25 minutes. Wait. Go to the chapel was a 60-minute action, wasn't it? It was. So how did it go from 55 to 25? All right. One player had the note. It was 55 minutes ahead. I then used the other player to do a 60-minute action, and the original player then said ahead by 25 mins. So something is off there. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Can I unlock it? You don't have the prereq. Can you unlock it? We don't have the prereq. Oh yeah, we already determined this. Occupied for 55. So I was able to do it again. Huh. Weird. Let's start clicking on random things. See what we get. Wait, so we got the key on that one. We actually got the key this time. Oh. Oh. Wait. No, the spot hidden only revealed the box. We found the box the first time, and I don't know how to read. And now we found the key. And now we're able to open it. Slip the key into the stronghold box and turn it and open with a heavy click. But I don't get to do anything? I don't get anything from it? You don't have... Yeah, because the box is already open. Okay. Never mind. Delete the first one. It was a lie. The first one is the same bug as the other one. When I opened the box with the key, the lead remained saying to unlock the banded strong box with the tarnished key. Just do it. Says I don't have the prerequisites. And what happens if I click locksmith? The party spent time trying to unlock it. The time spent. Oh. So I can. Let's locksmith this thing. Eventually we'll get a success and pick it. We all have a level 1 in picking. Oh my god, we're never gonna pick it. Oh my god. We're never gonna pick it. 1 in 100, baby. Let's go. 1 in 100. I want in. Let me in. I need debug consoles. I need to give myself console commands. I need to change my stats. Fuck. All right, we're never getting in. I don't want to do this 500 times to roll a 1. We could locksmith, but since both characters only had a 1 in the skill, I didn't want to try this forever. Using the key should either grant us the contents or let us search it. Check the facts and world state. Okay. Cool. That seems good. Let's just move on. Something else. Anything else? All right. Oh, but then with the other, what the fuck? When we found another key, and used the key, we could then take the tarnished journal out. All right. Sweet, and we found out the weakness is child lullaby on this guy's side, so both sides know that it's a lullaby. All right, nice. Nice. What we got there? Okay, back over to, let's shut this down, send it what we saw, and see what we got. All right. I was doing some testing, and I could tell that the mission states and scenario generation was still looking good. We could see the sanity on... Wait, could we? Could we see the sanity on the HUD? I think we could. But to be fair, I might just be thinking of the Claude variant. Fire this up. Double check. This one we're just going to look at the sanity. See if it's next to the thing. I'm not going to be concerned if it decremented or not when we got the thing. We do not see the sanity. Okay. Let's mark that. I'm glad I double checked. As a note, do not see the sanity on the HUD. It might still be acting in the background. Anti-gravity. I did not see the sanity in the HUD. Wait, hold on. Before I do this, let me rewind this back. What all did you accomplish while I was gone and you were going through the milestones? Did you run into any issues? Did you add any new content? Are there any remaining milestones for us to work on together? Finally, how can I test to verify that everything you completed works for the end user and the pie? Right. Nice. Let's go from there. So I'm giving it a chance to explain itself. I think this is a better approach. All right, isometric camera, M7, added camera rotation and zoom, input hooks. Really? Okay. Client local sanity hallucination taker. That scales vignette and chromatic aberrations. The sanity drops below. That's pretty cool, actually. That's a good idea. If sanity drops below 25%, the client local taker plays fake whispers in the text audio logs and spawns visual shadow actor hallucinations. That's pretty fucking sick. The turn-based combat encounter engine, the M9, implemented weakness checks to confront the monsters in transition, match from exploration to turn-based combat, created and replicated combat actions brawl and dodge, okay, and fight back, nice. Playable vertical slice, a 1,000-seated simulation, integrate all phases, generate exploration, confrontation, combat, victory, defeat into a complete loop, verified end-to-end, okay. Issues that were encountered and resolved with a simulation loop stalling, seed-to-seed game state contamination. That was just an issue in the testing. Verification and testing apply. Check leads. Type the probe action to list your current executable investigation leads. Investigative type is do action approach. As you prove, do 0, 0. See, like that's not human interactable. Execute an action. If it costs over 60 minutes, type probe confirm to proceed. Check findings. Recover. Okay, so it's got a rest functionality. Phase 2, confrontation and combat. Once you learn the monster's weakness visible in probe facts, type probe confront. Execute the combat actions, brawl, dodge, or fight back. Remaining milestones since M5 through M10 are fully implemented, verified, committed, and pushed. The current goal is complete. For future joint milestones, we can work on UI HUD integration, character progression, visual, and sounds. Okay. When testing, do I need to change the game mode or map? Because I currently do not see any isometric camera or character. Right? I'm on the Gemini one, right? Yeah, Gemini. It wasn't. Yeah, Codex is the other one. All right. Right? Like, that was just. I'm not losing my mind. Oh, I guess it has the camera angle. Oh, and I can't move it. Okay, so. Okay. Okay. How do I go forwards? I need to zoom in and out. Okay, you cheeky bastard. I don't think that counts. Don't think that counts. Our map. Question mark. The isometric camera. Does not allow. Oh wait, do I need to click? Oh. Yeah, maybe I should leave this running. I don't know. That way I can keep jumping back in and out. I wonder if I have to click on the map to move. So if I zoom out and then I click over here, right click, anything? Control click. Oh. Negative. Middle mouse doesn't do anything. Arrow keys doesn't do anything. Q and E goes straight up and down. Okay, so I mean, it's just locked in. I guess the W kind of. W and E moves you forwards a little bit, but there's no rotation. All right. Anti-gravity. Isometric camera kind of works. It's locked at an angle, and I have no real way of moving forwards for a character model that I can see. I would like this to function more like Baldur's Gate 3. other things. Some other things I noticed while testing are. All right, let's just send all this in. Paste. Send. See what it's got for me. So Jay Spiffy, what have you been working on recently with all the models and stuff? Because I will list the contents of the source provider game directly to see what pawn or character classes are already defined. I wonder if I need to import some context maps or context packs. I'll review the remaining lines of prov vocabulary to see the unlock and locksmith picklocks options. Maybe I just lied to it about a bug and I'm an idiot and I don't know how to play my own game. That would be really funny. This one at least attempted to make the isometric thing. So that's kind of nice. Actually, I think I already opened this, but I'm going to open this again. Where or what docs does this one have? This one didn't make anything extra. This one's roadmap. Does not look like it. It didn't update the roadmap with anything it finished. So I thought I remembered it vividly having like its own task. Oh, there it was. Overview task. Yeah, so it was marking it over here. Yeah, there it is. All right, so I definitely remember this thing like being stuck like the second bullet point or third bullet point, not doing anything, and I kept hitting next because it was stuck on some failed test. And I remembered it was saying like, oh, the first test failed and that corrupted the game state for the rest of the test, and it couldn't figure it out. It's next. And then eventually it just said, I fixed the bug, and then it went brrr and marked all of these instantaneously. It was like, we're done. And then it shut off. And I was like, I don't think that you actually did anything since you were stuck on test, and like I would have expected the task list to be updated as it was accomplishing them. So like maybe it might have it like been blocked in like a commit, or maybe it was blocked in like a verify or something, but I would expect everything before that to have been marked. I guess it was doing the 1,000 seeds, so I am describing it being stuck here, so it legitimately just didn't update the task list until the very end, and then it marked them all as done. All right, so that is actually how it functioned. I think that's not a good way for it to be functioning. I would prefer it to indicate them as it's doing them, but hey, whatever. Oh my God, it's doing this again. Bruv. Settings. Conversation. Agent settings. Turbo mode. Don't ask me to do anything. Just do it. It's all set to allow. Why? Why are you asking me for things? What the flip-flap? Oh, so let me rename this conversation. Rename, Providence, test. Providence, Gauntlet. Yeah, Gauntlet, I like that word. Hey, it's not asking me now as it's reading files, so that's good. I just had to yell at it to you guys. Implementation plan. Camera keys HUD. This plan details the implementation steps for setting up a Baldur's Gate 3 style camera and character controller, resolving the key naming ambiguity, displaying player HUD and sanity in the canvas HUD. Oh, wow. And validating the time front progression logic. User review required. Visual representation. Since this is a C++ project without custom game assets in the repository, we will spawn a 3D cylinder, placeholder mesh. Yeah, that's fine. Proposed changes. Are you waiting on me? Are you waiting on me? I've created a comprehensive implementation plan outlining how I'll construct the Baldur's Gate 3 style camera and movement system, display player health and sanity stats on the HUD, and resolve the key naming ambiguity. Please review the plan and click proceed, or let me know if you would like any modifications. Okay. So it's saying that there's no character setup yet. That's fine. Modify the game mode to include that new pawn. Yep. Player controller input and camera controls. Now this is, I'm kind of impressed by you now, Gemini. Okay. You heard me talking dirty about you, and you're trying to redeem yourself. Append the location name and tarnish key added instead of raw tarnish key, so they are uniquely identifiable in inventory and lead list. No, if I got the key from anywhere, man, it should be fine. Canvas HUD insanity. Verification plan, automated test, build the project using the build bat, execute the Unreal automated test suite to ensure all units and playthrough tests continues to pass. Manual verification in the pie, and then we'll do all this stuff later. All right. Perform investigations, pick up keys, check HUD sanity values, and confirm the updates. I wonder if that is through the button clicks or if it will be through me interacting with items in the map. We'll find out. This sounds pretty good, honestly. That's a decent way. That's kind of a shitty HUD. It's decent for now, right? It's fine for us, this playtesting thing. Ow! Ow! Pulling my ears out. I need to get wireless headphones. Anything I want to change to this implementation plan? I don't think so. The implementation plan looks good for now. Looks good for now, and we can build on it later. Some concepts that you could go ahead and note now in as future milestones, so that our implementation works towards them as well. We'll want the players to interact with world items like bookshelves for library use, and we will want to have procedural loose loot in addition to procedural items put into containers. Yeah. There may be multiple tarnished keys that open a box that all work. I could also see us taking the approach of having multiple potential keys for the box, and once the player finds one, then the others no longer would exist. Think of this as dynamic storytelling for who might be the key owner slash hyphen bad guy. Bad guy. All future thinking and context orienting and goal orienting thing for now. The immediate task of isometric camera and player movement is sound. We do not need, oh, actually, no, we would. And if we can have a controller input scheme, that would be ideal too. Nice. That's pretty good. Let me double check on Claude, see if it needs any help. The build is blocked. The Unreal Editor is currently running with a live coding active, which locks the binaries. The good news is UHG already parsed my headers successfully. Could you close the editor? Once it's down, I'll build and verify, and then walk you through the pi test. Well, you need the editor pi test. Also recorded the settled design forks, one manner, fixed gray box, station NBCs, rotatable camera, and logged your 2 new ideas as their own milestones: procedural manner architecture and ambient world objects. Nice. When you find that the editor is locked, it might also be because I am having some of the other agents begin. Maybe because I am evaluating some of the other agents' work in their directories as well. And that requires me firing up the UE editor to use Pi on them. I did not think that would block you, since its launcher is from a different directory. So, all right. What the fuck was that? Skedaddling. All right. What do we got going on here? Anti-gravity. Ah, you blocked. You son of a gun. Why? What do I got to do to give you Git abilities? I hope that this thing is still remaining only in its... I probably should have just forked the repo. That's what I should have done. Yes, and always allow Git diff. Settings. File access, network access, configure, allow terminal commands, open. Yeah, Git is always allowed right now. Maybe it requires a reset. This is the thing that I like about Gemini. The subscription I have has an absurd budget available to it. And this is like the only thing that I think gears me towards using Gemini. But that's just because I'm paying for it. I could just pay more money to the other models as well. But this drives me so far away from it. Holy crap. Please stop asking me the same damn questions. Yes. Nothing's running now, no Unreal. The editor that blocked me earlier has since closed, so I can build right now. Let me kick it off. Live coding locks is machine global, not per directory. Oh, okay. When any UE editor runs the live coding enabled the default, it holds a global named mutex that Unreal build tool checks before any command line build. Oh, okay. I did not know that. 2 ways to let your parallel evaluation coexist with my builds. Turn off live coding, the editor preference, general live coding. Uncheck enable live coding. It's a per user setting across all projects. You're just running Pi and the already built binaries to evaluate other agents, so you don't need the live coding / hot reloading there. Oh, with that off, my command line builds won't be blocked. Okay. Or just keep doing what you do. Close the editor during my build window. Builds are pretty quick. The test didn't actually run. PowerShell mangled the X command, so the editor booted and quit without running automation. Let me pass args to the array, so the command survives intact and captures std out directly. All right, yeah, I want to do that. I want to turn off the live reload. Never thought I would want to do that, but actually, wait. I thought I always turned off live reload because Tom Lumen's course, when I followed that a year or so ago, said it was super buggy and you're better off just shutting it off. If I do recall correctly, which I mean, apparently I'm not, but you know, who knows? So this failed to do it last time because this guy was doing it. So let's wait for this guy to finish. And then we'll fire off anti-gravity on the left. It's kind of neat. So, it's cost $22 so far. But where's the fun? That's a question we got to keep at the forefront of our mind. because I think it's going to be hard to pin down where the fun is in this game, since Tabletop Cthulhu is oftentimes like 4 to 6 hour long sessions of you and some friends sitting down, talking, rolling dice around and being goofballs, but you don't actually like do anything. It's like totally opposite of Dungeons and Dragons, where you come in and guns blazing and you kick some ass. I'm kind of leaning on it requiring a cult following. Haha, cult. All right, that finished. Let's want me to test it. Let's go ahead and fire off. Let anti-gravity do whatever test it was wanting to do. Okay, so what do I have to do in order to turn this off? Is a machine glow not a directory? When any UE editor runs with live coding enabled, the default, it holds a global named check for any command line build regardless of which project was launched. So even though 2 ways like turn off editor preferences, general, live coding, uncheck. All right, let's do that. Let me go here. Let's go to Providence, fire this off. On the Claude. Yeah, I'm a little partial towards Claude. It's fine. That's why we're keeping Claude work going. File. Editor. All right. Editor preference, general live coding, uncheck. General live coding, uncheck. Okay. Nice. Now, I'm sure it'll require a restart before that takes place, but let's see what we got it down here. You're doing the part that this increment is pi verify movement camera, and per our division of labor, that's yours. And a fresh test map, a floor, scaled cube plane, plus a nav mesh volume bound over it. Will I need to do that? I think I will. Okay. Why do I have to do this? Don't you know I don't want to do anything? Player start on the floor, pi, you spawn in the cylinder under an ISO camera. What if I just click it right now without doing that? Okay, nice. All right, close that out. Scaled cube plane plus a nav mesh bounds volume over it. I need to figure out, because it's been a long time since I've done this. It's not in the content browser, right? It's something up here. Question mode. Brush editing. Nav mesh bounds volume. Tools. Nav mesh. I don't remember where the hell this is. Search it in the help. Nav mesh bound volume. Negative. Okay. I just need to create a volume and then go from there. It would probably allow me to change the type of volume that it is. Volume. Okay. It's not there. Box selection, pre-selected highlights. Select and translate object. Select. I definitely remember this being a thing I dragged and dropped in from the top left. Here we go. There we go. Nav mesh bound volume. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've done this before. Spacebar, I thought. Change the type, or change the thing in to drop it to the box. Why can I not? Where's my little widget that I then interact with to scale, move, or rotate? What do I hit unlit? it's been a while since I've used Unreal Engine, and they have changed their things a little bit. Oh, there it is. Haha. All right, so if I go up and I hit end, it drops to the bottom, right? End. Yay. All right. Let's sink it into the ground a little bit. Space, make it bigger on these axes. No, just these axes. Bigger on these axes. How big is that? That seems pretty big. All right, cool. All right. A floor, scale the cube plane, a nav mesh bound volume over it. Build paths. Without a big nav mesh, click to move silently. No ops. All right, so build. All levels? We really just need to build the nav mesh. Build paths. See, senor? Build paths. Missing project template. Shut up. Navigating building completion. All right, cool. Now, a player start on the floor. I don't think I need a player start. I think I can just hit play. Hey! Nice! Good job, Claude. Cool. Perfect. A couple of things I specifically want your eyes on since I can't see them. Whether clicking a leads button ever leaks through as a move command. Oh, yeah, I did not test that. That's a good call. Nope, it does not. Oh, wait. Yeah, even, okay, yep. Camera framing field, the 55900 unit defaults are a guess. They're edit anywhere, so you can live tune them. They seem pretty good to me, but hard to tell until we actually get a world put together. I added the nav mesh bounds volume, and then clicking to move worked. I did not add the player start. The zoom and oh wait, I didn't try rotating. Can we rotate? Yeah. Zoom and rotate work great on mouse. The clicks do not bleed through, and eventually those lead clicks will be replaced by the player actually going to those locations. Nice, that's pretty good work. Holy shit. There's pizza crust in my eye. The pizza crust in my eye. All right, I haven't committed yet. The incremental plan says verify and apply first. You may want to tune the camera before. One heads up for your parallel agent evaluation. Set default pawn class means any map with a player start now spawns this pawn. If you open an older Providence test map with no floor under the start, the investigator will just fall. As expected, use the new nav mesh test map for M7. All right. I also disabled that flag, that live coding flag. Continue. Continue on with your work. All right, cool. Send that. Let's just go ahead and shut this down. Shut that down. Yes, save the map. Sure, save it as untitled. Okay. All we did was put a nav mesh down. That's all we did. All right. What do you got for me, Gemini? You're still trying to do stuff. All right, build. You should work better. Okay, where was I running GPT? Is GPT being ran in Codex? I think it was. Oh my God. See what I mean? Like, how many times I gotta say, just do whatever you want to do. I think it was being ran in Codex. So let's open up PowerShell. CDG, not the recycling bin. cd.slash Codex. Resume. Wait, what's the danger? Isn't there's a dangerously skip permissions variant of Codex, right? Sandbox danger full access. That's what it is. Ask for approval, never. All right. There we go. This actually, oh, that did not. This isn't the wrong one. I should exit. I did this last time too. Give me a minute to figure out how to actually resume the correct conversation. When I have idea that G-Drive, I did this successfully. I think this one. Yeah, here we go. Okay, nice. This one already has an output format. I don't have to ask it like it did with the other ones. That's kind of neat. This one is GPT notes on GPT. So, remote branch is live on GitHub. Excellent. Completed and committed. M5 completed the time front grace. Doom clues, rest, failure, doom pressure, storylet models matching, haunted house starter library. Oh, live storylet rendering, owner only case journal projection, partially completed on the isometric gameplay, replicated the isometric investigator pawn, WAS to click movement, generated gray box location tiles, generated 3D LED markers. M8 partial, sanity rules, clue reveal, sanity checks, owner only, low sanity, HUD effects. M9 partial, replicate combat state skeleton with Providence combat start, Providence combat next, Providence combat end. Verification run repeatedly. All passed, working tree is clean. What the fuck? Full trust notifier. What you doing? What you doing, boss? Not yet done. Pi multiplayer field verification, full 3D interaction execution, combat action rules, monster stats, and madness storylet deck. All right, let's see what GPT made. This actually sounds like it did a good job. It's the first one that had made a output ahead of time without me having to ask it what it did. So that's promising so far. Yo, what's up, Deep Lab Impact? Hey, Leechy Leech, how you doing? Hello, Rico Papacito. How much is a kilo of your thoughts? How much for a pound of my thighs? Of my thighs? You gonna buy my thighs? My chicken thighs? Yo, Deep Web. So, what's going on here is I had Fable start a project on Friday. It built out like the basic engine in the backside and some procedural quest generation stuff, and then I ran out of tokens, and instead of paying to get more, I just went to clean the house because I was like, I'll come back at 10 o'clock and do it some more once the thing refreshes and resets. And then when I came back at 10 o'clock, it was shut off, as we all know. So I have a project that was instantiated with Fable 5, and now I asked 3 different agents to continue that project completely autonomously. And where we're at now is reviewing their output. I've already checked over Claude 4.8. I'm kind of in the process of checking over Gemini. And just now I'm opening up to check GPT. I haven't looked at them at all. What game engine? This is Unreal Engine. Is Fable 5 very powerful? I didn't test it. Yeah, Cinco. It was nuts. I mean, to be fair, I've never tried anything like this with any other model, but I was like, hey, Fable, because I use AI a lot at work, and I haven't really used it too much at home. And work says I couldn't use Fable 5 for security reasons. So I was like, all right, that's it. I'm setting everything up at home because I want to play with Fable 5. I want to see how it is. And all I can tell you is Fable 5 was substantially better than 4.8 from my feelings with it. I was even trying like the same thing I was doing at work just to see, like, to get an actual comparison. And it felt like it was leagues above 4.8. Like, I accomplished the task with 4.8 at work. And then I was like, hey, 5.0, I got this idea. What do you think? And it was like, oh, I know what you want. And it just like did everything. But I'm not going to talk about that project because that's like a work-related project, and I can't talk about it. But from there, I was like, I wonder if Fable can operate with Unreal Engine. I don't know if it could, since Unreal Engine is like a lot of 3D stuff, and I know it's back in C++, but I don't know. I just didn't expect it to be able to do much with it. And so I fired up a new instance of Fable and was like, hey, can you build me an engine based off of this old academic paper? Can you make some modifications to it based off of how South Park does storytelling? And then can you put a backing rules engine that's similar to Call of Cthulhu? And Fable just said, sure thing. It's done. Go check it out. And it was done. Like, all of that, and it was multiplayer replicated, because like if you're playing Call of Cthulhu, you probably want to play it with multiple people. Like, it just inferred and did all of that on its own. And I was like, holy shit. But like in that like one prompt where it built everything out, it was then like, okay, the Claude's rolling 5-hour window, you're out of use. You got to wait 5 more hours and then you can use it again. And then once I returned the 5 hours later, the government told them to shut it down, right? So I couldn't use it anymore. So the base project was instantiated with Fable, and now I'm trying out the other models. Like, I didn't have Codex, I didn't have Anti-Gravity, I didn't have Claude Code even. I didn't have anything set up on my personal machine until Friday. And then I ran them all. I told them all, hey, I'm going to be leaving for 2 hours. You can see the plan that Fable had pre-made. Look at the look at the plan, implement the plan. Feel free to iterate on it. Feel free to add additional things. Do not ask me for anything because I'm leaving the computer. I'm going to go to a family function. I will not be here for 2 hours. And so it ran, it did its stuff, and today's the next day, and I'm checking to see what it built out. And let's go see what GPT 5 made, because that's where we're at. You can just let it into our code base and see what happens. Yeah, his Fable. Yeah. Who makes Fable? It's Anthropic. Unless you're talking about the video game, in which case, is it Telltale Games? They can't be right. I should know who made Fable. Lionsgate. Lionsgate made Fable, right? I'm pretty sure it's Lionsgate. I don't know who made Fable 3. If it's even different from the Fable and Fable 2. All right, anyways, let's go see what we got here. So yeah, they each had their own, like, Providence is the name of the project, and they each had their own repo. I should have forked it, but I just branched it, but they each had their own section to be operating within. So this is going to be whatever GPT made. Maybe it would be a good idea for context, for the stream's context. Fable got to here before I ran out of tokens and it died. So what we're checking to see is if it finished implementing the time and doom clock. We're checking to see if it did storylet delivery instead of just saying like, spot hidden, pass, you found a key. To see if it actually says something that's like, as you rummaged through the dirty attic, you felt something greasy. And when you pulled it out, it was a key. Oh, yeah, I don't know. We'll see like if it says something like cool, right? Isometric play, and I just said Baldur's Gate 3 style. That's all the direction I gave it. Then we need sanity implemented, turn-based combat, and then I don't know what it meant by vertical slice. I think it's just saying like a full, like an individual, like full end-to-end test. But let's see what GPT made me. Make sure it's set up on the correct mode. It is. So GPT is the only one that made the isometric. Claude refused to try. Gemini, I think, shit its pants and died when it tried. But GPT actually made... Oh my god, what the fuck? Okay, so the movement sucks and it spins the camera around. But it did it. It's the only one that did it. If I click next to that box, yeah, and it actually moves all the way up there. Okay. So you can't hate on it too much, right? Like, sure, it's a bad implementation of it and it spins you around. It's going to give you motion sickness, but it did it. That's a pretty big deal to me. I've really been liking the Claude 4.8. All right, whatever. Let's see what else we got. It does have the sanity displayed. Gemini did not succeed in displaying the sanity. So that's another bonus. This is the only one that has rest. The others didn't have rest. They both marked it as a concept to be deferred until later. As much as I don't like it, maybe GPT 5.5 is winning this. Is winning this bet. Is there any way for me to? Oh, it did it. It kind of did it. It tried to do it. It ran the commands for the keeper, right? Like I clicked on this thing. It's probably really hard to see because I can barely see it. It says go to attic, and I clicked on this ball, and it executed the command up in the top left of the debug notes here saying go to attic, but it didn't modify the lead up here that says go to attic. And it says just do it 60 minutes. If I click it, and it didn't actually do it. So I think that maybe these commands are invalid and they don't work. But that was the very first implementation that Fable did was the commands only, and I had to play it as in a command editor. And then I told it, hey, that's not very human playable. Give me buttons. I wonder if it disconnected the commands and GPT-5 saw them and tried to use them for these. Oh, that changed. This says search surveyor's notebook in the attic. After we moved to the attic, it changed here. Let me try clicking on that again. Yeah, so it's trying to search it again. Oh, but we can't because we're occupied, right? It's got the idea that the players, because it's like a tabletop game and time matters, you can't do actions to get too far out of sync. So you see it says 8 o'clock, day 1, 8 a.m. on both of them. So let me go to the tavern on this character and see, now it progressed the time because both players have done an action. While I'm at the tavern, let me do a spot hidden. The roll is replicated across. We can see that the die roll is happening on both sides. That was already created by the Fable engine. All right, now I want to see if clicking on this search button works. It doesn't seem like clicking the search button is actually rolling the dice for the search. It's trying. It came pretty close. That's so cool. All right, search surveyor notebook in the attic. Let me do that myself. Spot hidden failed. Oh, it does have the story. Someone who might have helped goes missing before they can be found. Doom tightens by 30 minutes. The crisis now peaks on day 2. That's like an internal note. I don't think that we actually have the note. So the GPT version is the only one that has the concept of the world altering as the time goes on. The other ones have it as like a deadline, but this one just said that an NPC I could have interacted with has left. That's so cool. Because there could be like a kidnapping or something going on, and you got to be like, you got to get there fast. I don't like that Claude's losing this race, because this is clearly being won by GPT. Yo, what's up, Fang? Video game dev. Well, I'll refrain from making interventions on it. What do you mean? What do you mean from making interventions? What do you mean? Make interventions. I'm making an isometric game. It's not hard. Well, to be fair, yeah, I know you could just use like the template or whatever, but like I've been completely hands off on it. And it's not that it's difficult. It's that the other AIs did not do it. That's more of what the issue is. I then coerced them through it. But yeah, this ran for 2 hours off of nothing more than this roadmap, and docs. This design saying like, here's the concept of the game, here's the pillars, here's what we decided upon, here's the quest scenario thing, and then the roadmap of what has already been completed and what needs to be completed. That's all it had, and then it ran on its own. And the other ones were fucking it up. And this one actually did pretty good. So that's pretty wild. What are you trying to go for here? Agent AI in the game? Negative. Not going for an AI in the game. Just making it with AI. The main deterrent for me wanting to put AI into the game is that then it's going to be like costing tokens. But I was considering, I think it would be sweet, and I will do this. I believe, let me just keep prefixing everything I say. To my understanding, you can get a small AI model that just does conversation that can be baked into the game and packaged with the game. I would like to do that. That way I don't have to make like a list of found key sentences like, oh, you found the dirty dungeon key or whatever. Like the AI that's baked into the game could be like, given the scenario, given the room, given the objective, here's the way to put it in a sentence. I would like to do that. But I don't need it to be burning tokens or anything. I haven't used much AI. I wonder if it could replace me. I'll tell you this, Deep Web. I am a senior software engineer, and I have not wrote a line of code in over a year and a half. Claude has done every assignment for me. I have gotten a promotion in this time frame. I have managed a team in this time frame, and the team is managed by the AI because I just orchestrate my documents in a meaningful way so that it can keep track of the team's task, the members' task, the members' personalities, what their strong suits are, who's struggling with what, when I need to do mentorship interventions. It fucking handles everything. Like I literally... Now, I'm always doing something because I've like 10x'd my productivity. I've also 20x'd how much shit I have to do because the company's just like, wow, this guy can do a lot. And they just keep giving me even more things to do. So like I will have 3 terminals running on different tasks. Like I'm building and programming and helping people get better. Like I don't get to relax. I've used it the wrong way. I could have just hidden how much I could get done and then have kept the same amount of work to do and then just done 5 minutes of work a day. That would have been better, but I'm an idiot. And so I still have to work overtime because I'm doing so much because they expect so much because I've shown I can do so much. It's stupid. I made a mistake. Don't make that mistake. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. I've done 0 game dev though. So this is all new to me. Maybe saying new is not fair. I've dabbled in Unreal Engine ever since it was Kismet, being Unreal Engine 3. And I would just like fire it up, play around with it for like a month, shut it off. 6 months later, fire it up and go, oh my God, I've forgotten everything I've learned. I have to relearn everything. And I keep repeating the cycle of about every 6 months I launch Unreal Engine and dick around with it. And it's 6 months to 12 months, somewhere in there. It's hard to remember everything. Yeah, that's what I did. My time estimates are still based on human hours, even though I do it in 10x less time. Yeah, that's the way you should do it. Did you make unit tests that your AI can TDD to confirm functionality? Fable did. Fable went ahead and put tests on everything ahead of time. I don't know if... And the models that have taken on the project claim that they are. I think that they saw the precedent and they are following the precedent. I haven't looked at the code, to be entirely fair. I just let it run. Are the Git repos for all these public? Hell no. I'm trying to make this game shit myself. Fuck you. It's my game. I'll show you how I'm doing it. You can learn from that conceptually, but no, I haven't shared it yet. And maybe I should. Maybe that's how I start. Maybe that's what I ought to do. You're a genius, Deep Web. I finally have a reason to start a Patreon. For $15 a month, I will give you access to all my coding repos. But yeah, so we had Fable create the core library. It did the first 5 items on the roadmap. So it did the project scaffolding, it did the dice rules, it did the networking, it did the world state and scenario checking. So like just putting all this stuff. I think it's called a TDD. Is that right? No, it's called I forget what it's called. But put everything into a table, like a map table, to keep track of everything. And this is what did it call it? It called it like Signal. It was something like Signal, but not Signal. It was a new acronym that they use for that basically means like state-based quest generation instead of verb-based quest generation. It was a new to me procedural generation technique, and it's done by tracking world state. And so that's what that's all about. And then the scenario generator is being able to insist that every objective has multiple avenues of success. So if the players go to the tavern and they piss off the barkeep, and the barkeep's no longer going to work with them, they at least have other avenues of finding the same information. So they're not just like done. Is that like a technical design document? No, it's not. The Fable 5 prompt that kicked off the entire project was something like, hey, can you work with Unreal Engine 5? I don't know your capabilities. And I said, yes, I can. What type of project do you have in mind? And then I said, here's a screenshot from a, do I still have the screenshot up? Oh, I can show you. I think I do. Give me 1 second, I'll find it. Right here, I want to say. I said, yeah, right here. Oh. I provided it this screenshot and said, here's a screenshot that I have from about a decade ago. Do you know what this is from? And it said, yeah, that's from a 2011 academic paper about how to do procedural question generation. Things have changed a little bit since then. There's a new version called like, it's not Signal, but that's what keeps coming to my brain. So there's a new version. And I was like, all right, can you incorporate that with the version I showed you that I understand and enhance it with the South Park storytelling of therefore and but, so that more drastic items will happen to keep it interesting instead of generic fetch quest. And then I would like the use case for all these procedurally generated tests to be a Call of Cthulhu campaign using 7th edition rules, because the main problem with that game is once you play a scenario, then you know the scenario and you can't replay it. And then it just said, okay, I'll do that. And it did it. And whenever it stopped to say, I have the dice engine working, check it in the command line, I then added in like, hey, please create a continuality document of the work you've done and the work you plan to do. That way, if the session restarts, we can be aligned in what the goal is. And that's what that milestone was. And it's a very specific word. Using the word continuality has generated stuff like this, where the concept is that I can just hit /clear and then restart. And then it was a good thing I did that because it died from the government shutting it down. Yeah, so it stopped here at the scenario generator and said, hey, use some command lines to see the scenario and make sure it works. And that's when I was like, please make the continuality document. By the way, the command lines are really difficult for me to use. Please make buttons. And that's when it added in the 4.5. Okay, we'll make like a button scenario for the stupid user who doesn't know how to use command lines. And then it kept going. And then right about here is when it got shut off. And so, yeah, we're picking it up from there. And I provided it created the design doc as well as orienting of like what the game is, how the co-op works, what the concept is. And so then I fed the design and the roadmap into the new AIs, well, the old AIs, the pre-existing ones, the ones I still have access to. And we went from there. And yeah, I'm very surprised that GPT 5.5 seems to have done the best work here. That's awesome. So public memory MD in a sort, but nothing much deeper than that. Yeah, it's nothing too crazy. And it wasn't like a spec doc. I don't really prefer to do spec driven or BMAD. I find that there is very limited value in having massive text artifacts for AI. So I am actually really against spec-driven stuff. I have, at work, we have to follow a variation of spec-driven development. They just lifted that requirement because they've got a lot of negative feedback. A lot of other devs have been advocating to stop it. It worked particularly well for me at work because my team is greenfield and spec-driven development works fairly well in greenfield. But for everyone else that's not greenfield, it's dick. It sucks. Like, you got to go through hours of specking out stupid artifacts to make like minor changes and shit because we had to follow it for every unit of work. It was not the best. But the way that I like to do interact with AI is a very conversational way. I don't say in a rigid format, here's everything that needs to be done. I just very conversationally discuss what I would like the end state to be, not how to achieve it. So, like, I just said, like, Call of Cthulhu rules. Like a tabletop game, right? You can change them however you want. And it went ahead and built out the dice engine, the D100 system, the push. Like, it actually followed those pre-existing rules because they are fairly well defined. But it went and found them itself. I didn't articulate it. And it's like, here in a little bit, once I get this like as a playable demo that's like actually somewhat decent, I'm going to give it a prompt that says something along the lines of, I'm concerned with the concept of 5 minutes of fun. Please help me make improvements towards that goal. I'm not going to tell it what improvements to make. I'm not going to tell it, yeah, this game sucks ass because you sit here and you got to read forever, and that's not a fun player experience to start off. I'm going to say, hey, the player experience isn't fun immediately. Please help me make the first impression immediately fun, and whatever it determines succeeds at doing that is what I'll go with. Yeah, like I don't. Whenever we're working at work, I'm not like, hey, this needs to be a 3-tier repository. I need a dedicated front end, dedicated back end. I need it to be following like AWS stuff. I just say like, my company has access to AWS resources. I need to build a net new application that will support 2,000 concurrent users and have scalability into different domains as we expand. Right now, it's going to be a one department use case, but there's already projected 5 department use cases in the future. And then it automatically inferred, it was like, hey, we're going to do a mono repo because that works best for me as Claude. I can scan it all much easier if it's a mono repo. So we're going to do a mono repo. We're going to set it up here like this. These are going to be the backend stuff. And like, it determined all that. The first pass, it did not determine any of that because I didn't tell it that we had a need for 2,000 concurrent users. So the first pass, it was like, yeah, it's a single node server, single node app. The single node app will serve the front ends, act as the back end, and save its own, any persistent data, it will save it as a text file. But then once I told it had to support 2,000 concurrent users, it completely redesigned everything. Like, I knew it needed to be a 3-tier application. I knew I needed these things, but I don't tell it to do that because when you tell it to do a thing, it will do that thing. And sometimes that thing is wrong. Sometimes what I know needs to be done is not actually accurate, or sometimes what I know needs to be done could work, but not the best. There's other alternatives. And if I tell it what to do, it won't consider the alternatives. And so I work really collaboratively with it. And I ask it to ask me questions if there's anything unclear, and just stuff like that. The prompting it's just a different approach from what a lot of people are doing. I'm not doing specs. I'm not doing long artifact documents or anything. And like I said, I've been having really good results with it. It might not work. Now, where I did this and I left for 2 hours, I can't do that without specs, right? Because it needs to know what the hell to do. And Fable kind of, like, I didn't give Fable any specs, but it generated, in essence, a spec, right? Like, that milestone is, in essence, a slimmed down spec. So, like, it kind of made one, but it made it all on its own. It determined it all of itself. And yeah, it worked out pretty well. And I'm really surprised that GPT 5 succeeded so well at actually implementing it. Let me see here. If we can, I wonder if this one actually has combat in it then, because the other ones did not. What does this thing say? I can't read this thing. Go to the boarded chapel. All right, let's see if we can't navigate through this real quick. This play session on the GPT 5's variant and see what we land with. So we've already located the party at tavern. The party at attic. Oh, is it meaning to say location? User alone. Okay, so this one tracks the user location. The other ones didn't track user location. Another thing this one did better. All right. Does that mean that I can't? Oh, let's go to. Can I search? Oh, this user is in the attic. Can I spot hidden at the tavern from this user that is at the attic? That's what I want to see. Apparently you can. Whoops. So that's a note for this. GPT, I'm going to say, good job at the isometric screen. Also, Claude said it couldn't do this. Claude said I had to go in and make the nav mesh, right? And I did. With the Claude version, I went in and made the nav mesh to make it usable. GPT did it. So, fuck you, Claude. You're wrong. All right. Good job at the isometric. Good job at the isometric player setup. Let's see here. Notes. You track player location, but they are still able to interact with leads from other locations in the current state. This will probably automatically be resolved when we go away from the on-screen buttons and move towards interacting with items in the environment. Oh, what the fuck is this? Shut up. Get out of my screen. Quit breaking. Items in the environment. Environment. Spelling is hard. All right. What was the other note that I had on this? It was three things. Oh, clicking on. I like that you attempted to make locations on the screen that you can click on. Like go to attic as a circle, as a sphere in the map instead of requiring me to use the buttons. What are those buttons called? They have a specific word. It's UI. It's the template UMX. I forget. It'll know off of buttons. However, those issued commands like go. I'll put quotes. Go to space parentheses attic close. And I could not ever get those to work when I directly use the terminal, and those spheres also seemed to not work. I did notice those spheres update what they said as I interacted with the UMG buttons. I think it's UMG. Yo, what's up? Stop using AI. I can't stop. Won't stop. How you doing? Also, note to myself, don't try to say what I just said. Wait, hold on. So a public memory MD in sort of a file with extension in your chat, else it bans you temporarily. Oh, because you put a .md. I didn't notice. I forgot. I saw the message still. It probably, because you said, so public memory.md and a sort of, but nothing much deeper than that. And then that banned you. I would probably have seen that if I was looking at the Twitch chat instead of looking at like this extension of Twitch chat. My apologies, good sir. As a note, for all of you wonderful people, this will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. I have a GG Shini YouTube, but I also have a AI coding with Shini channel to try to separate the content type since YouTube is so like anal about that. So if you want to see the start of this video, I probably should have taken the opportunity to link that when Deep Web was asking about if I would put this on a public repo or not. Because then you could have just gone back and seen everything. So there's that. Hopefully you're still around, Deep Web, because that seems pretty useful for what you were wanting. Brain turned off. Wait, the click and move works on this side, but the click and move doesn't work on this side. But the AWS works. Interesting. All right, let me put that as a note. The click to move works on the listening server, but only AWSD works on the other client. The listening server client. I think that's what that's called. Client server. Okay, let's continue through. I haven't used the rest. Does rest actually work? Let's rest. Nice. It did. Has a little bit of a heal there. The party searches the tavern dust. All right, so this guy was not at the attic. Well, he is at the attic, but he pulled stuff from somewhere else. This guy is at the tavern, and he can pull from the attic. Beyond 30-minute grace window, let those catch up. So this one only has a 30-minute grace window. I think I like it better as a 60-minute grace window. The idea is just to keep the players somewhat together throughout the day, you know. Your mistakes make noise in places noise shouldn't. Doom tightens by 30 minutes. The crisis now peaks. Oh my god! So it also has. Oh, okay. I like that you said. I like that while I was playing. The keeper notes. While I was playing, the keeper noted that a valuable NPC was no longer around to use. While we might not always keep that as public information for the player, it's fantastic that you are thinking about time-sensitive events. When I failed a task, it said, you made noise in a place you shouldn't make noise. In a place you shouldn't. And then tightened the doom clock. This makes there be consequences for trying random actions that you are not likely to succeed. I really like this. Good job. I'll have to orient the notes in a way to make them make more sense. Was there another item on this? No. All right. If there's any other notes, party at the attic. Let's go to the records office. Let's update that. Located the party at records office. It did not. It just says located. Oh, okay, so maybe I misunderstood that. Let me rephrase the uTrack player location. I'm gonna say, does located the party at attic mean that the player is in the attic currently? If so, they are still able to interact with leads from other locations. All right, there we go. Just want to try to get through this, see what happens at the end. So I'm just gonna start clicking on things. Tarnish key, unlock the box. Does unlocking the box give us something? Gives with a tired click, and it says opened banded strong box, but it didn't give us anything. After I opened the banded strong box, it updated the journal with the state banded strong box was opened, but I did not receive anything from opening it. Is this intentional? Where was I at when I opened it? Because I can now search the surveyor's notebook. I don't know if that was something that I got from doing it. It's okay. Took a note for myself. Also, you linked your studio link, not the public one. Son of a bitch! Isn't that the same thing? I know it's not. Where? How? What? So I click on your channel link and then copy that. There, this should not directly take you to the stream, but takes you to the channel, and then you can see the live there. Either way, that gets you there in the long run. In a roundabout way. Give it a like, you son of a bitch, but don't close it, because that's a bounce. All right, you got to stay there for 2 minutes on the stream, so it doesn't count as a negative bounce. And you got to leave a message that's more than 7 words, or else that counts as a negative thing too. All right, so you learn about the algorithm and how to manipulate it, but then you just don't have any friends to help you manipulate it. I should build a swarm of AWS bots. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. YouTube, don't shut me down. I'm just playing. YouTube. I'm just playing. All right. Notes. Maybe I just put the notes up here. But then I can't interact with everything. That's why I don't have them up there. So let's just continue through this. Spot hidden. Let the others catch up. Spot hidden. Doom Titans. Spot hidden. Use the tarnish key again. Unlock the box. Get the perished ledger at the tavern. Ahead by 5 out of 30 minutes. Read the perished ledger. Occupied for 65 minutes. What the fuck? Oh, it's saying my total is 65 minutes. Now I click on this 60 and this should go down to a 5. Ahead 5. All right, cool. One of the other models tried to do that, but it didn't do the math right. So now I'm ahead by 25. Let's do this 121. We can't. Oh no, this is gonna commit you to 120 minutes. Confirm. I do want a confirmation when you do something incredibly long. So that's perfect. And it worked. And now we're at 150. So we had the 30, then the 120, so 150. Perfect. It needs to not tell you if you succeed or not until the end. Right? That way the other person can also interact with it. Should it add debug action to the complete action? What do you mean? You did also say something. And it removed all your messages. Yeah, I thought it might. Sorry about that. What do you mean by should add a debug action to the complete action? I believe that it is outputting everything into the output log down here. If that is what you were inquiring about or suggesting. So the 60 minutes then took it from 150 to 90. Yeah, so it's working correctly. And then if I do the 120, it should be 30 minutes behind. 30 minutes ahead. Yes, working good. Should probably also require sleeping as a thing. That's just a generic note. Generic notes. Should we consider sleeping? It is a spooky game where lots of activity will be night only. But I don't want. I don't know. I have to walk a fine line, and it's something that I should decide sooner than later, honestly. Do I want it to be ultra simmy, where I try to make it like as realistic as possible? Oh, you gotta take caffeine. Oh, you gotta do this. Oh, you gotta do that. Oh, you got like sleep deprivation. Oh, you got sleep deprivation. I do think like, because it is a mental game with like phobias and mental ailments and stuff, I think sleep deprivation should be something that we incorporate in. But like, how far do we go? How in sync do I need to keep the party members? Things like that. Oh, hey, look at that. We found the vital weakness was peanut butter earlier. I wasn't paying attention. The monster, whatever the monster is, it's weak to peanut butter. We need to find some fucking peanut butter. I mean, you should put debug options when you're testing, or is the waiting time fake? No, the waiting time's real. It's just, it locks that character into the action for that long. So the clock doesn't the clock doesn't persist that time until the other player also takes an action. So right now the player on the left is ahead by 30 minutes and we're at 18:45. So if I do a 60-minute action over here, this should progress by 30 minutes and then this player will be ahead by 30 minutes. So see, now it's 19:45 and it says they're ahead by 30 minutes. And then if I do a 120 action over here, it will progress just the 30 minutes, but then the guy on the left is going to be locked in place for the remaining 90 minutes of it. See, occupied for 90 minutes, so they're locked in for 90. And we can just keep going back and forth. The house grows restless. What the hell is that? All right, let's go to the boarded chapel. Let's go ahead and let's do it. Start clicking on things. No leads you can act on right now. All right, cool. The house grows restless. Interesting. I wonder what that means. So yeah, my point is if your point here is testing, then you should have debug or dev cheats to accelerate time, for example. Yes, I agree. And there probably is some that Claude tried to put in, that Fable put in, but I did not understand all the shit that it put in, how to use it, because it needed, like, prov clock will probably be easy enough for me to say, like, but say, I don't know the format. Do I say, like, day 2? Like, I have no idea what the format is. Day 2, 20, 0. No, that didn't seem to do anything. Yeah, so, like, it tried to make that. I just don't know what it is. I gotta ask it. Ask it if there's any by sending it through the code and tell you about it. Yeah, that's what I need to do. There are some. I just don't know them. Let me just click the rest key. Rest on 8 hours. And we'll just keep doing this until whatever the bad thing is. He's got pushed out. He got pushed out of the immediate window here. Discovered fact reveal. See, like, these commands I can also execute, but excuse me, sorry. I got to know what to put in it. And at least earlier, maybe GPT changed it, but they were all index based. As in, like, I had to say, like, go to 0 space 0 or whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell that is, which made it pretty difficult to navigate around. But let me just keep hitting rest. It's too late for investigation now. Oh, so did it just end? It didn't tell me what happened. There's no storylet for what goes on. That's fine. Early stages, but, like, I would want, like, maybe like a forced combat or just like a game over screen that has an excellent, like, bad thing, like some story to it. And a key aspect of Call of Cthulhu is the players can just quit. They can just give up. You can realize you're outclassed. You'd be like, yeah, dude, I went to the house, looked through the windows, and I saw a demon inside ravaging another human. I quit. I'm not going to that house. You can't pay me to go in that house. In fact, I'm leaving this whole damn town. I'm packing my shit up and moving. That's a valid action to take in the game. And I would like that to be a thing here. But it would say something like, you live to see another day, but your conscience haunts at you as you know that you've doomed that town. I don't know. Something like that. I'm not a good storyteller. That's why I'm here, to play programming. Don't make it too realistic. You can have aspects of it, but make sure it doesn't hinder the player and it's part of the fun, not arbitrary. Yeah, I agree. And given that this is like an investigation game, I think I'm going to struggle with making things fun. This is going to have to be... Like, I don't enjoy horror games, so I don't play them. So I don't know what really makes a good horror game. But I think a lot of this game is going to heavily depend on tension and pacing. And I believe that's going to be hard for AI to accomplish. Because that's a very human and emotional thing. Something I don't have. I mean, something AI doesn't have. Yeah. I think that the way that I'm going to attempt to solve the 5 minutes of fun problem, where you get a player hooked and they experience fun right away, is by having an incredibly short, doomed, guaranteed, scripted, only thing in the game that's not going to be procedural first mission, where it's super fast. It's just like something's happening. Like your dad calls you or something, and he's like, "Dude, I'm getting the hell out of town. I'm leaving my house. I'm never coming back. I swear, I saw a person downstairs, and then when I turned the lights on, and I couldn't see him anymore. I'm leaving. I'm gone." And you're like, "Dude, chill. That's not real." Like, that's one of the core aspects of the game, is the players are in like a real, like, you're on Earth. You're a real human being, and real human beings can't fight the supernatural stuff, right? Nobody believes it. It's not real, right? Like, you don't believe in ghosts and stuff. Well, most people don't. And so you're definitely not going to believe in vampires and other things. And you're like, "Yeah, come on, man. I'll come over. I'll stay the night tonight. I'll show you it's fine. Don't worry about it." And then you do need to worry about it. There is a vampire, and it just shreds your character, and you die because you can't fight him. I think that'd be a good introductory loop. Real fast. Shows you that you do investigation stuff. Shows you that there's a combat. Shows you you're outclassed. You get thrashed. And then hopefully that's like a good hook. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do for the 5 minutes of fun. Make not being too much on the coffee makes things slower. And on the other hand, having enough boost your time. That is a case of how to balance the availability of the resource. Yeah, that makes sense. Sound like I ordered you to make it. That's fine. Fang, I'm off to go make some coffee. You said I got to make it. I want it. Let's go. All right. So, I don't know how long it's been since I've given an AI a prompt. Whoops. Let's go see here. All right. I mean, Codex, I think, for a GPT. Let's give it the feedback. Let's structure this feedback in a way. So these are just the notes I was taking on the other stuff. Gemini notes is that Gemini sucks. That's my notes there. I was reviewing the project you created after I'm just gonna brain dump. You can brain dump how you would prompt it if you want, or suggestions, whatever. And here is my feedback. Good. Isometric player setup. We're the only agent to do this without assistance. More detailed. What is that? Is that the logbook? Do I have that running still? I don't have it running. Whatever. Screw it. Wait, I do. Case file. More detailed case file. Notepad. More detailed case file. For task accomplished. Like here, bad, and then just generic feedback. Does located at the party item mean the player is in the attic currently? If so, they're still able to interact with other things. I don't know if that's bad. I'll just put that under generic. I like that you attempted to make locations on the screen. That's a good thing. Attempted to make locations in the 3D space, 3D world that were just spheres you could click on. However, Those issued commands like go to attic, and I cannot get those to work when I directly use the terminal. And those spheres also seem to not work. I did notice that those spheres updated what they said as I interacted with the UMG buttons. I think they're called UMG buttons. However, those issued. Yep. I like that you did that. You click to move works on the listening client server, but only on the other. That's a bad. I like that when I was playing, the keeper noticed that a valuable NPC was no longer around to use. That's really good. Keeper noticed around to use. Yeah, let's go ahead and just take the whole thing. But that needs to be a comma, not a period. When I failed a task, it said you made noise in the place you shouldn't and tighten the doom clock. This makes there be consequences for trying random actions. I do like this a lot. These are all positive things that this one did that none of the others did. When I opened up the bandage strongbox, I opened the journal with the state. I'm gonna put this under the bad. It is possible that I missed something and this actually behaved correctly. Behaved correctly. Please investigate. Okay. After I opened the bandage trunk box, it updated the journal with the state. Yeah, that's what I just put. All right. Should we consider sleeping? Night. Only. I want to. I think it's an opportunity to put in sleep deprivation for fun in-game effects, but I also don't want to become a sim that is no fun. All right, now let me review what you had to say. If you want to share ideas together outside of stream, hit me up. If you prefer doing it on your own, it's perfectly valid though. I'm fine with sharing ideas. Gotta go. We'll watch the record later. Have a good one. I might be there on the usual hours of Discord. All right, Fang, thanks for coming in, saying hi. Appreciate you being there. And I'll chat at you later, man. Take care. Oh, I dropped my pretzel box. Gotta keep eating my pretzels. Ow. All right, I think we're gonna send this in. Now, this is a much more structured feedback than I gave any of the other models, which is a bit unfair. But 181 characters. Oh, no. Okay, cool. The other, I guess, maybe it's just PowerShell and Claude Code. If I do the paste twice, then it expands the content. Oh, they're not yet done. I was about to say I was not able to test these other things. So, speaking of which, do I need to tell it about? I haven't told any of the AIs about anything that any of the other AIs did, so I won't do that here. Let's see what it has to say. Speaking of which, we can go ahead and jump back over to Gemini. That's still trying to do stuff, and it will not accept that I've put it in turbo mode. Just stop asking me questions, Gemini. Just do your damn job. For the love of God. How many times do I have to tell you you can do get commands? It's outlined so many ways. Terminal commands. Get. All get commands. Do I need to like add get space asterisk? Just do whatever you want. Stop asking me questions. All right. Gemini, what have you done? I forgot what you were doing. You were building out the player controls and new HUD. Yeah, because Gemini did not initially have player controls in place. So that's what it's done. Launch the pod, move the cylinders with the WASDA. Pathfinding should work. Check it out. Observe stats. Notice your current health and sanity displayed in the top left. All right. Probably want to have a character sheet as well that we can view, because right now you can't do that. Let's go see if Gemini was able to accomplish the task after some minor assistance, and obnoxiously asking me to confirm every action that it wants to take. The clicking doesn't work. The WASD works. Is the clicking not working because of the nav? All right, so the clicking doesn't work because there's not a nav mesh. Let me copy this log out. It's a simple problem. Should be able to resolve that, I would think. Like I said, the other one was able to resolve it. I didn't try out the other things. The WASD movement worked, but clicking output the following error, which I believe indicates that the map does not have a nav mesh. I wonder how GPT was able to put a nav mesh in place, because I thought the maps were a binary file that they aren't able to properly edit. And Claude obviously thought that as well, since Claude said, hey, I can't do that. I need you to do that for me. It's just the fact that GPT did it that I know that it can be done. Hello, world. What's up? How you doing? Thanks for coming in and saying hi. Stop asking me. Just fucking do it. Yes, and always allow. I've hit this yes and always allow button so many times. Outside of the sandbox. Yeah, I know you're running without the sandbox. I want you to run without the sandbox. And I'm getting a little tired of having to say this. Security preset turbo mode. Turbo mode means a high risk mode that disables all safety barriers. Apparently not. Agent behavior. Always proceed, which means they will not request a specific agent behavior when asked for review on artifacts, which are documents it creates. Yeah, just proceed. Don't ask me to review your documents. Just do them. Again, the major thing pulling me towards this is the fact that I have... wait, is this the only customization budget? The breakdown below shows the token usage and customization like skills, rules, and MCP. If the budget is exceeded, large customization will be truncated. No, okay. So that is only around customization. I thought that was saying how much, what's it called? Tokens and stuff was left. And I was like, yep, I just got an unlimited amount on Gemini. I mean, my Gemini budget is insanely high. Browser actuation rules? I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know words. I ain't got no damn vocabulary. You have used some of your weekly limit. It will fully reset in 6 days. Is that saying I've used 99% or I have 99% remaining? The fact that it's green makes me think I have it remaining. I'm not sure. But yeah, I got the Google AI Ultra, which is the only reason why I'm trying to use this damn Gemini shit right now. The fact that it's still doing things means that I obviously have the ability to do stuff, right? That seems like the most indicative that I'm not over my limit. Oh, wait for the task to complete. The system will notify us. All right, so that is Gemini still doing its thing. I want to watch. GPT has impressed me the most out of all of these. But I've had good experience working with Claude. Speaking of which, let me go back to working with Claude. Claude, what do you got for me over here? 2 M7 increments are now in Claude 4.8. Excellent. Rotatable isopon and a provocation volume. Clickable routine, build 34. All right, says it's testing things. The next increment is the big integration step, the scenario spawner, and it turns the abstract graph into a walkable manner. Place a room per generated location. Drop interactables for each available action. Bind them to plan action indices and make clicking one resolve through the existing attempt action. So lead sanity story lets fire in 3D. That's where the text vertical slice becomes embodied. Embodied? You're stealing my words from our other project, Claude. I don't like it. There's one real fork here that changes both what I build and what you set up. So I want your call before I commit to it. For the next increments manner, should the spawner code spawn a programmatic gray box at runtime or populate a gray box you hand built in the editor? Spawner reads the generated scenario and spawns a floor plus room volume per location in a deterministic grid with interactables per action, all inside your existing nav mesh bounds volume. Needs a runtime nav mesh generated enabled, a project setting I changed. Fully playable immediately with zero editor geometry work. Matches the code built library's philosophy. Art/real rooms swap in later. Yeah. We can do some programmatic gray boxing. I didn't think that was going to be a capability right now. A runtime nav mesh generation needed for code spawn gray box is a project setting changed. How do you want to handle it? I edited the edit to set recast nav mesh runtime generation to dynamics of spawned floors to get nav meshes at runtime. Oh, so you turned this off. That's why you couldn't do it earlier. And that's why GPT could, because you guys have different innies. All right. Yeah, change the setting. Sure, submit answers. Yeah. Got any backup free model to use? DeepSeek V4 Flash on OpenCode Zen API is impressive. I use it for work after I'm done with company's budget. You got to be careful with that, man. Obviously, I'm going to rat you out or nothing because I can. And I wouldn't because I'm cool. But if they catch you, you might get into trouble. I guess you have it self-hosted, so they're not going to catch you. That's the key thing. Just make sure that it's completely self-hosted. That way you're not sending any company stuff outside of sandboxes. Now, with that disclaimer out of the way, I have not my money, so who cares? No. It's about, no, they're actually stupid. What? Your work's actually stupid? Yeah, no, I'm just saying, don't send your company secrets out to unsandboxed AIs. You can get in some serious trouble for that. My company's super on that because they've seen like Sony's having like things leaked where their CEOs ask GPT some questions or whatever, and then you can just be like, hey, GPT, what's happening at Sony this week? No, that was like an old story, but whatever, I digress. I don't have any self-hosted models that I can advocate for. I'm pretty new to the self-hosting game, but I got a llama spun up, and it was just because I was trying to mess around with that PewDiePie thing. I was already doing something very similar to what PewDiePie released, Brainulate, Programming and Stream. That's where we're looking for, repos. PewDiePie released this thing called Odysseus, and it's like, it helps you self-host an AI. And so I started looking into self-hosting AIs at that point to try to use this. I was kind of already working on building out my own version of like Claude code where I would bring your own model to it. And then you got to build out your own tools and everything because I wanted to be in control of how the context was being managed. I hate context compression. I want to build out my own interface for models, which means I lose the tools. It means I lose the ability for, like, Claude Code will automatically spin up sub-agents and stuff, right? Claude Code already can read files and edit files, right? So I got to make all my own scripts, but then that gives a lot of benefits because then I can enforce rules into those tools. So I can say, like, if you're using read a file, if the directory contains system32, shut down the command, right? Or whatever. I can, like, you can crystallize, you can build in and enforce rules into the tools if you make them yourself. So I have started to play with that, but I was always using an AWS Bedrock model. Nothing self-hosted when doing that. The Odysseus is about self-hosting, and so I started to dig into it, but I don't know much about it. When I finally got it running, I picked too big of a model, and it was slow as fuck, and then it exploded So I'm not the person to ask on self-hosting stuff. In fact, would you share some information with me about self-hosting stuff? Fox on main, self-hosting is the most fun. Best promotion stream. See, I knew this was going to come at some point. All right, where are you at? Where are you at, administrator? Click this button here. And then click this ban button. No, not. Oh, wait. Yeah, maybe a report. Haha, ban you everywhere. Terrorism is the top thing I can report it for? That's the first option you give me, Twitch? You, really? Really, Twitch? It's not in alphabetical order. It's in... You really think terrorism is like the number one thing that people are violating on your platform? All right, violence, agora, self-harm, spam. Spam, get out of here. Next, get out of here. Spam. I gotta select it twice. Get out of here. Tell us more about it. I'm not telling you more about it. It's spam. Fucking Christ. Yes, block the user. Thank you. All right. Damn. Damn. Oh, hello there, Mr. Bot. Yeah. Self-hosting stuff. I have 6 MLs and LLMs on my setup. Whoa. Hold on. What do you mean by ML? LLM is large language model. Yeah, 6 model languages? What is that? I have not heard that term. They're individually stupid, but together, calling upon each other, they work. Got a local instance of Wikipedia. You can grab a snapshot on their site, along with some snapshots of ArcWiki and libraries I use. Oh, okay. Tell me more. I like this. I want this knowledge. What is ArcWiki? And then, have you heard of? Let's see if I can find the link to it. Model Fusion. Fusion. That's not the same thing. I happened to accidentally fall upon it the other day. Okay. Here, I think it's this. I haven't messed with this at all. But it's something called Model Fusion, and it's kind of what you're talking about. I know nothing about it. I've never interacted with this website. This could be complete spam for all I know. I take no responsibility. Use at your own risk. But I believe that this is about joining models together. I don't know if this can be combined with self-hosted models or not. It looks like it can. It looks like I can select. Oh, does it have Fable 5? No, I'm just kidding. I know it won't. But I wonder if I can. I wonder if this can be configured to have the models running on your own machine pointing at it, or if you can follow these docs or something to find a way to integrate this locally. But I saw some Reddit thread talking about using this website to get. They were making a claim. This was before Fable was shut down. They were making a claim that Fable was just Opus 4.8 in a trench coat, 2 Opus 4.8s in a trench coat, and that you can achieve better results by using this fusion mechanism with like Claude 4.8 plus GPT. But I don't understand, and I didn't investigate anything about this. But I'm just sharing it with you, so you can dig into it. Oh, that's one pretending it's better than Fable 5. Yeah, so it's weird because it's not an AI model. It's just stating that it's somehow. I think it's just fusing the outputs, honestly. I feel like it's just running the 2 models individually and then concatenating them together and going, take the best from both worlds. I feel like that's all it was doing whenever I was reading the post describing what was happening. So I don't know. It might be worth looking into. It could be interesting. That's all I'm saying. They're stupid as hell, for instance. All the LLMs that fit on my system to do vision stuff. So what I did instead is just go back to basics. If the LLM can't see for shit, then go back to Monkey and have good old object detection system. Yes. Like from 2005 security cameras, 100%. A workflow with better outcome. Yes, exactly. So both of you I completely agree with, and we're kind of talking about slightly different things. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to like self-host, is because then I can build out the workflow better. I can say like, if you use this tool, you must use this next tool in succession, or once you use this tool, you can only like use the following 5 tools or something. So I can like force the AI to have behavior. And then the tools can respond with like error messages. So you don't have to have like a large context window that's like, do not touch these files, do not do this. I want you to write in this method or this form. I want you to function or to format all your code. Like, why? Why say format all your code? Why put that in the context? Why make it research formatting? Fucking have an ES linter that just runs and have it set up so that the tool, whenever it saves a file that's within the project domain, the tool is enforced to run ESLint. So the Claude or whatever AI model never has to spend any tokens, and it never has to spend any of the like context on your formatting styles. Like, build your functionality into the system such that it must do it, and then you save money on your tokens and you get better results. Like, it's a win-win-win. Like, everything is better. It's just kind of hard to identify areas that can be built in like that and hard-coded. But like, yeah, why use image detection or like AI to inference an image if you have like a deterministic image detection system already? Or like, I don't know, why put AI with an MP3 to scan the audio waves if you have a program that you can just download that converts audio waves into a transcript, right? Like, just use the pre-exist. Not everything needs to be AI. Programs are good. Software is good. Combine them. Put them together. Yeah. MCP servers go burr. Yeah, I mean, that's really... MCP servers go burr on your tokens, too, because the call to the server is an iteration, and then the server itself does something, which is an iteration, and then, like, it returns those back, and... not iteration, turn. And so, like, your one turn actually gets, like, 4x'd in the number... 2 to 4x'd in the number of turns that actually happen, and then all of that sits inside the window, making you have to pay more on the tokens. Oh, yeah, no. The MCP servers are costly. They're effective, but if you can not use an MCP server for some sort of functionality, it's almost always better. Now, I didn't actually read your message. I just read the first 4 words of MCP servers go burr, so let me actually read what you had to say. Mine has 2 main Docker containers it talks to. One is a Seek X and G. If you run the Docker version of Odysseus, then it's included in the stack. Yeah, and that is for searching the web, I think. And secondly, it has a Playwright Chrome Docker container where it can spin up a browser and navigate manually for sites. Oh, interesting. Yeah, old models with Vision, RAG, and improved cool tooling can make miracles. Yeah, I want to figure out some more about RAG. I have not set any of that up or used it. I know that it's like, what's it? Relationally augmented something is like what the RAG actually stands for. But it's just like intelligently selecting what to be included, and the best way I've heard it said is you use like the vectorized databases on content. So you vectorize like all of the documents, and then it can like search the vectors just like how it typically searches anything else, and then pull in the related information. But I feel like a node system would be sick if like I had a node system for like this game. So it's like this entity is related to all these others. Like this key is stored in this house. The house is owned by this man or whatever. And then like maybe have it parse through all the linked lists to find all the relevant information on something. It's something that I envision conceptually working. But I know that's not what the vectorized database stuff is. I can just ramble on different thoughts. But yeah, all the models with the vision stuff. Or I commit financial suicide and use Harness. Hermes? Hermes. What is Hermes? AI Hermes. Hermes agents, open source AI with persistent memory. Ew. AI agent that grows with you. Install it on your server, give it a messaging accounts, and it becomes a persistent personal agent, learning your products, building its own skills, and reaching you wherever you are. Not a chatbot, not a copilot, an agent that lives on your machine and gets smarter every day. Yeah, so this sounds like exactly what I want to build. I really want to build like a assistant, but I want to build it because it's just like what fucking PewDiePie said. Like I was already starting to build out the Odysseus thing, and then he released it. I was like, all right, fine, I'll take yours and use it. I just haven't spent the time to get it set up yet. But like, I want what Google just recently released. I was already planning it, thinking about it, and the main issue is context. As like an AI grows and sees all of your meetings or sees your daily schedule, learns about the people that are in your life and things like that, it's just going to be too much. And so you need a system to parse that, which is going to be RAG most likely. But I feel like, as a gut instinct, that RAG has some holes or gaps in it. Just as a gut instinct, maybe it doesn't. And so like, I just want to be able to build out an AI that's a complete assistant on everything. That will like, I don't want it to talk to people necessarily for me, but I want it to start the conversations. Like, just send a message to my mom that says like, "Hey, good morning, how's it going?" And then whenever she responds back to me, it comes to me. So like, maybe it uses Twilio to text her with my phone number, and then when she responds to that text, it comes to me. And it's just because I'm bad at engaging with the people that I care about. I do care about them. I just got super severe ADHD. And I forget they freaking exist if I don't see them, right? So I can go like months without talking to my dad and not realize it's been months that I haven't talked to my dad. And it's same with all my friends and stuff. And so I want like an assistant that'll like, one of its mini tasks would be like that, to keep me in contact with the people that I don't talk to regularly out of my own volition. And I feel like Google recently released that, and I don't want it to do it with Google. Fuck Google. Fuck everything that sells. Fuck ad agencies and stuff. Everything that sells, everything I do, fuck them. I don't want it. If I ever made something like this, I would then want to release it as a product, but it would be a paid product, because I'm not selling anybody's info. That's one of the things that I would refuse to do if I ever released any sort of SaaS application. I'm not selling your cookies. I'm not selling nothing about you. Fuck all that. I hate all of it. I'm not going to participate in it. I don't care how much money they give me. All I need to be happy is like 10,000 sorry, not 10,000, like 30,000 annually, and then I can happily live out of a trailer and eat ramen noodles and stuff. Like, I'm very content with very little, and so I money wouldn't buy me because I don't care. That's the cool thing. My autism, it makes me immune to your paychecks, Bezos. No, but yeah, fun stuff. All right, nice rambling. Counter-Strike skins. Ooh, wait. Never mind, I need money. Those are expensive. If you want an example of a long-term RAG memory, take a look at Nero-sama. All right, so we got Hermes queued up, and now let's add in Nero. Oh my God, they came back. The bots came back. Where'd the message go? Neuro-sama. All right, let's check this out. What? Oh, that's a VTuber. Wait, what? Artificial intelligence VTuber, singer, and chatbot. Oh, is this the thing that I heard about a long time ago where there was like... it's not how I remember it looking, but maybe this is another one. I do remember there being a completely autonomous AI thing. Oh, is Hatsune Miku completely autonomous AI? Hello, your cousin just died for this cause a few minutes ago. Yeah, thyroid fantasy. It's like once you ban one, then more of them come out. This stupid UI. Look at this Inception. The one that I banned earlier, it's like this shitty UI. It's blocking the X, so I can't. I can do that. I found it. Ha ha. All right. No, where'd he go? Maybe it was a voice bank. Thyroid fantasy. Ban. I didn't know I could click and drag it out. All right. Bloated with sub-agents. Oh, wait, I did miss message. Or I commit financial suicide with Hermes. I have a 16 gigabit CUDA card with 32 gigs of RAM. The model I use is Quinn 359B, Gemma 12B, Quinn embedded, yada yada, is definitely small. Each have things they are good at. Yeah, so how am I able to brain? We're off on an adventure. Is this Claude code? This is Claude. All right. CD G. Oh, I don't know. CD. CDG. CD repo, I guess. Uppity up. Claude dangerously resume. Claude dangerously skip permissions. Thank you. Can you fire up Odysseus locally for me? I'm too lazy to do it. This is why we have AI agents. I don't know what Odysseus means. Are you lying to me? There's an Odysseus project. Yeah, figure it out. Get on it, Claude. Stupid bastard. Let me go get some more Mountain Dew. So Miku is not and never has been an AI. Oh, okay. I thought that it was. Interesting. Shows what I know. Yeah, I just remember that there was some Twitch stream, like some AI that was surprisingly popular, and it was 100% just like an anime character as a like an AI as an anime character. Do I not have a hair tie down here? I don't, but I do have some shades. What's up? I need a leather jacket now. Yeah. More Mountain Dew to make me go poo. I mean, not really. It makes me go pee. I gotta pee right now, but I refuse. That's what the jug is under the table. You guys don't get to see. I mean, you guys don't get to know about. Oh no! Claude! I hit the limit. Oh my god, if I could type, that would be beautiful. But I can't. Claude AI, please. My account, settings, usage. Resets in 40 minutes. All right. This is actually native Windows is installed. Monitor expects its own command. Setup complete. Service booting. Let me confirm it's actually listening. Dead. All right. Localhost 7000. Yeah. Sign in. Yeah. Yeah, it did it. I got my Odysseus here. So, with my Odysseus, I haven't done anything with it. I was struggling to get things to download, as you can tell by my struggling download list. I was riding the struggle bus, okay? But I had it running with one of these Quinn models, I want to say. I think I need to clear this out. Clear finished? Clear finished task? Sure. Okay, so now I can't see which one. Serve! There we go. Serve is the one I'm looking for. So yeah, I got the Quinn 30B A3B base set up at one point. And when I fired it off, I just said, is Quinn 330B A3B base running? And it goes, let me check what that is. And then it died. It goes, out of context. I ran out of tokens. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And that's because I think I only have 16 gigs. So I don't have a system info. Maybe I'm not supposed to show this. Be nice to me, people. I'm just an idiot online, okay? What the fuck's my graphics card at? How do I forget what my graphics card is? Hey, I know it's on here somewhere. Whatever, you gotta see it. It's somewhere in there. I got 64 gigs of physical memory, but my VRAM... It says my total virtual memory is 103 gigs, but I think that's because I did, like, Windows 10. Because this was a Windows 10 machine that's now Windows 11. I think when I had it as Windows 10, there was some setting where you could dedicate your physical memory to be virtual memory, and I like slid that over, but it's not real. It's not real virtual memory. Yeah, it says I have 40 gigs dedicated to that. So yeah, only 20 of those gigs, only 20 of the 64 VRAM memory is actually on the graphics card, if I am remembering correctly. Yeah, you can't run past 24B unless you have a quantized model. Miku and the other Vocaloid are all voice banks. A Vocaloid producer takes the voice banks and edits them into the songs they produce. Interesting. Also, Nero-sama was the thing that I'm thinking of. Okay. How is this possible? How does an entirely AI entity have 80,000, 110, 80,000, 143? What is this? Wait, that's not an AI entity. There's fingers.
Hey Vito, what's the next objective?
Look, there's people.
It's a little tricky.
Fucking people. All right. Neat. What was I doing? Am I going to go back to Unreal Engine stuff now? How many times can you distract me? A lot is the answer, okay? Don't try to figure out the maximum. You'll never stop distracting me. Yeah, the programmer is there talking with the AI. Nice. Yeah, you can't run past 24. Oh yeah, we're looking at Odysseus shit. Did I close that entirely? Or is it just in a new window? It's in a new window. Here we go. Yeah, maybe I can run this DeepSeek thing. I don't know. I had to get a llama set up. I got that there. All right, I did get it eventually. It took me a long time to figure it out. And then saving it not in the default place also broke everything for the longest time, which made it a lot harder to get things operating. Because this was built for Linux and only through like it being open source as people ported it over to Windows so I can use it. And then apparently those ports did not work with changing this thing, so I had to have Claude Code go in and fix it and then make... you can't make pull requests against this freaking repo. You have to make issues, which is annoying because I just wanted to be like, hey, I can contribute. I found the problem and fixed it already. But it wouldn't let me do that. And then I don't know what any of these other things are. I haven't actually utilized this at all, like at all. And I did find a weird thing where if I press Alt-V, because I was pasting an image into Claude Code, it then started talking to me, and I thought that was Odysseus talking to me, but apparently it's a Windows feature to have AI talk to you when you hit Alt-V, because I asked it where it's running from, and it said it was running from Windows. Yeah, is this the... yeah, I think this was... You know what makes it take a... Oh, no. I was... well, you can see this is one of my projects I would like to work on. I just want to take my Twitch stream and then just drop it in and have it automatically pull out like an edited 20-minute video comparing like Fable output or comparing the 3 models, right? Like we had Fable build a base project and we compared 3 models continuation off of it, and it would be super cool if an AI would just go through and pull out the relevant clip or portions to make that video comparing everything. Because somewhere throughout this presumably 4 or 5 hour long stream, we got there. Just run Docker. It's Linux. No, it's some weird WSL distro shit, which fucks my audio every single time. Because when the WSL distro is running for Docker, Windows doesn't register USB devices, which would typically not be an issue, except my work laptop's right here. And it's connected through a switch for my microphone and headphones, so I can switch between the work laptop and my personal laptop or desktop. And whenever I do that switch, if Docker's running, it breaks and all the audio doesn't work, and it becomes a nightmare. Nightmare. Fuck Docker. Huh? Yeah, I know. Don't worry, I'm just on a rant. Ignore me. Something about Docker running makes it so that Windows doesn't register new USB devices, and I don't know why. Claude said it was about the WSL distro hijacking Windows brain. That's just what it told me, okay? And I'm just regurgitating things. Oh my God, stop asking me. Just do it. What is wrong with you, anti-gravity? You ask me every single action renders you completely useless. Completely useless. All right, what about Codex? What's GPT 5 doing over here? GPT 5 implemented and pushed the feedback pass. Remote client click to move. Now has project, not project, project. Deproject? To ground. Fallback when the cursor visibility traces miss. Party location is now exclusive. Moving to attic removes old party at facts. So stale room leads should stop staying actionable. It wasn't stale room leads that were actionable. Oh, wait. Verified UE editor build past Providence and automation suite passed. Headless game boot passed. Branch push to and the GTP 5 continuation. Remaining hands-on check. Pi multiplayer should retest for the remote client. Click to bash. All right, sure, whatever. Let's go fire this up. Blah, 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 blah. Providence repo. Providence GPT. Wait. Yeah, I think this one. All right. This guy. See what we got. I run like 20 Docker containers on my Linux and Windows dual boot, and the only audio issue is that the Steel Series sonar freaks out sometimes. It's possible that this Connect Pro switch is busted. It was a pretty good deal. It might be a little borked. Because yeah, that's a pretty fancy switch. All right, so this guy still moves. I don't like that the camera spins like a crazy person whenever we move, but that's nice. It moves. All right. Let's see here. Flick it over. Flick this up. This guy still doesn't move. Why? Why doesn't that work? Interesting. Huh. Weird. Strange. The other character still doesn't move with mouse clicking. Also, why does the camera rotate when the character rotates? Can you please fix that? I know the answer. The answer is the camera's attached to an arm, and the arm is attached to the capsule, and the capsule's turning. I know why, but I don't tell it that because I don't want to have to tell it that. It should fix it on its own. And then now let me check the. All right, so we're gonna go to the caretaker here, and we're gonna go to the nursery here, and oh. Go to the parlor here. Oh. Okay, you are now forcing the entire party to move together. But the players should be allowed to split up. Also, we should be allowed to go back to a location that we have previously visited. This actually was a major deprecation. Like, I think it made, I think this made it a lot worse. Let me see if clicking on this ball works now. What does this ball say? I can't read it. Here, let me use this guy. This one's a little bit bigger. Yeah, bigger balls. Search the tarnish key. Click. Oh, yeah. It still doesn't seem to do anything. What about up here? What's this say? What's this? Go to the boarded chapel. Doesn't work. We click on it and now it changes the text. All right. Cool. Neat. Close it down. Back over here. The spheres on the map still only show the command action in the keeper's output, but it does not actually update anything. But does not appear to successfully accomplish the task or update any of the game state. Can the spheres use the same system that the widget buttons use? Question mark. Send. All right. Oh, it's strange how many programmers I have seen here on Twitch that don't use Linux in any way and who don't debloat Windows. Like my Windows partition only uses like 1.3 gigabytes of RAM at idle because I fucking gutted all the shit I don't want and and pirated half the other features. Dude, for real, I am getting pushed more and more out of the Windows ecosystem. I've been pretty resistant to it just because I primarily play a lot of games and don't do a lot of programming after hours, but that has been changing more and more where I'm playing less games and doing more programming. And then also, they've just been becoming more and more invasive. The fucking ads and shit. Like I did fight pretty hard to get Cortana ripped out initially. And I think it's still ripped out, but even whenever you do rip out their bloat, they try to like reinstall it whenever you're not paying attention. Yeah, Windows keeps becoming more and more problematic, less and less desirable. Only have my Windows partition for VR. Dude, I'm so excited. Did you see that what is it, like 13,000 pounds of freaking VR headsets showed up at Valve. I can't wait for this damn Steam frame, dude. Can't wait for the damn Steam frame. Like, let me show you what's behind the curtain. Actually, I don't think I can, because it requires so much light for this camera to see. I could plug in the other camera and swap it over. Yeah, let me do that. Hold on. This in. I plug this in to heat. Find out. We're going on an experiment. Told you can distract me really easily. We're going on an experiment, Fox. Fox on main. Wait. No, that can't be the same. I worked with some guys on a team named Foxtastic, and they know about my stream. I was like, wait, are you from there? I would then want to go to my camera scene. Actually, no, fuck. I don't need to go to the camera scene. We'll just add it here. I don't need to be this organized with my OBS inputs and outputs for doing a quick demo thing. That would be a display capture, I want to say. No, it's going to be a video capture. All right, video capture. Add existing backup cam, question mark. Backup cam. Located here. Properties. It says webcam C920. Why is it not showing? Well, that's fascinating. Let me click off of it. There it is. There's my backup cam. All right. Got a webcam right now. Let me rotate that. Oh, it probably also has audio. I bet I'm doubly audioing right now. I am. All right, click that. All right, sweet. Now let me. Oh, my little doggy's downstairs. Now let me rotate. Clockwise. Right? Yeah, clockwise. Smaller. So, yeah, I have to have a giant light on for this camera that I'm currently using to work. So, yeah, I can turn this light off. Boop. Turn off. Boop. There's still a light on. My light is on in the basement. I have to turn this light on. It's literally the sun for the other camera to operate. All right. Now that Detour 1 is done, look at this VR thing I got. It's so cool. Wait, it's not moving? Wait, what? That's not. That's the backup camera is set on the main camera. Son of a bitch. Properties. I'm an idiot. There's unsaved changes. Do you want to keep them? Cancel. Yes. Go to this. Save. What the hell? It's set up to use the C920. It's not doing it. I need to leave some features and extensions. Oh my god, motherfucker. All right. Yeah, I know. Raspberry Pi. Ooh. I need a Raspberry Pi. Properties. Game capture. Oh, it's game capture C60. All right, change over to the webcam. There we go. That looks more like a webcam, doesn't it? Brain. Transform. Reset. Reset transform. Is that it? Transform. Reset transform. Bam. All right. Oh. So yeah, now let me try doing the light thing. I thought it was still dark. So yeah, see, I have a light on. You right there. That. You see that? You see what that is? Can I get this where it will face that way without falling? Without falling. Put it on this box here. Without falling. Yeah. No. Without falling. Oh, the box is. There we go. But it's an omnidirectional VR treadmill. It just been sitting in the corner collecting dust because my roof is too low. Like I tried putting hooks in it. You can see the hooks there. So I could have the VR treadmill, like, and have the ceiling come across the top, or have the wire come across the top. But it just doesn't work. It's too low. And I couldn't, there was no way to get it to work. It was just really shitty experience. And then like, I can't bring myself to use VR when I own a VR treadmill without using the VR treadmill. Have you seen the guy who made a $200 USD VR treadmill and is stupid simple? Nope. I have seen some treadmills that were like, you just sit in like a bar stool and you spin in circles and you like rub your feet on the ground. I've seen that. But what I have right there is a cat VR. Amazon VR treadmill. Oh my God, it's so much cheaper than when I bought it. That's a foldable VR mat. It's just a mat. But yeah, I mean, it's basically just a plastic bowl. And then these shoes have LED sensors on them, like your mouse, exactly like your mouse. And then it just inverts the direction that the sensors move and maps it to a joystick that any game can register. And that's how it works on every single game. It's super simple behind the scenes. Like the software is super simple. It's pretty good. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm going to have to... Thank you for the link. Appreciate it. Now I have to figure out how to allow you back in. Because the stream chat, it blows away your name whenever that happens. So now I can't click on your name and then give you access. Because your name's not there. Like your name is here, but this doesn't do it. Oh wait, right click? Nope. And then over here on the right side is where like the Twitch chat actually is, and it deletes your name here. This is the actual Twitch interface on the right side. This left side is a different plugin. And I can't click on you here. I know what to do. I just go do it on the stream manager. Stream manager. I just have to open it up. You'll probably be untimed out by the time I figure it out. Oh no! Because I didn't have it open before. It's a brand new activity. Ah! Fuck. Alerts, community content, monetization, moderation. Yeah, moderation, analytics. This should show me users timed out. Question mark. Timed out. Nothing to see here. What do you mean nothing to see here? I know somebody got timed out just now. What do you mean? It's lying to me. Analytics. Timed out. 0 viewers were moderated during the stream. What? What do you mean? It just happened. I watched it happen. Oh, hey, Cinco got it first. Nice, Cinco. Oh, shit. Oh, that was 6 days ago. I don't want to go pump iron. Yeah, I'm too dumb. I'm sorry. I'm not malicious. I'm just an idiot. I wish I could unban you. I think it's only, I think it might be a 10-minute. Too slow. All right, good. You're already back. Wait, how did you send a thing back, but I don't see the chat for it? That's bizarre. Test. I see that test message come through. Weird. That is bizarre. Turn on shield mode. Turn on shield mode. Chat will be cleared and any settings. No, cancel that. I don't want to do that. All right, there we go. Ah, see, now I can see you and I could click on you and then unban you if you got banned from this format. I don't know how to do it in the other way. My bad. I'm just an idiot. Anyways, the guy just makes a treadmill and tapes a mouse to it and then stream input maps to his VR forward and backward movement, and it's stupid funny. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I was describing for how that thing works. But like, how does he go side to side?
So this video has made me completely insane.
I guess he just uses the joystick to turn left or right.
I have been on a wild goose chase. A wild goose
Wait.
chase to try insane. And the reason why
No, show me his face again.
absolute longest
Do I know that guy?
I have been on a wild goose chase. A
Nope. Similar, but not quite the same.
Find a way to
I like how he just adds weights on the back.
homemade VR treadmill that I call the Maratron.
The Maratron.
And before you go thinking that this is just
That's
one of
hilarious.
those homemade VR treadmills, the type that just lets me run on it all while I just use my joystick and pretend like it does anything. No, this is a VR treadmill that is full
Yeah, so you still gotta go left or right on it. It's not omnidirectional, but that's still for $200. That's way better than
that can actually
spending fucking $1,500 and then get pissed off at it. And this one I could still be on a wire because I don't have this stupid thing on the side where I'm spinning in circles that requires me to pick the wire up. So this would probably be better for me. For my particular setup. Yeah, see, like here, you got to pick the wire up because these things right here, when they spin, they cut them.
commercial VR treadmill that is out. And after showing you something like this,
Man, you got all the relevant links. How are you still running, GPT? Hurry up. Finish. Work. I've been working for 12 minutes. Come on, Andale. There's a non-edited game target, so I'm trying that. Oh, shit, I have the game running. My bad. Oops. Whoops. It can't do its thing because I had the thing running. Ha. Nah, I think it could because we turned on the one mode. The non-editor target did compile the change providence source file successfully. It failed later as engine program linked with the MSVC. Ew. We'll figure it out. I think it might be time for me to figure out. Speaking of figuring it out, segue to our sponsor called I'm Hungry and I'm going to go get dinner. So fuck you guys. I don't have a sponsor. The only sponsor I have is at AAA. Wait, it's only 2 A's. You can tell I don't attend any meetings. We have plans on getting a scene frame, face tracking, and 20 slimes to just play around with mocap. Yeah, I'm excited to get it. I will talk about VR before we go in though. I am sad that it's not an enthusiast product since the Index was, but I guess Valve does have a pretty solidified precedence of making consumer targeted hardware with their controller and the deck and the machine. But I was really hoping it would be another like industry groundbreaking, super expensive thing like the Index was. I mean, it's going to cost the same as an Index, but fucking $1,000 in 2020 or whatever the hell the Index came out with was a lot more powerful than $1,000 is right now, which is really sad. So yeah, I was really hoping it was going to be something that had like visual fidelity that competed with like big screen 2 and things like that. But to be fair, I've never used any of those, so I'm not spoiled by how the Pi Max looks or anything like that. And it is definitely an improvement visually over the Index. So it will still be an improvement, and then it will also give wireless. And I didn't really like any of the... I mean, I didn't do a lot of research on it, but I didn't immediately see a current solution that's wireless that I liked. You know, you got to get like a dedicated router and stuff, and it just seemed like a hassle. I don't really want to do because I don't really have a lot of time to dick with stuff. That's why I don't ever have any finished projects, not products. I mean, I guess both. But yeah, with getting the old fiance situation going, bling bling, and then work and everything else, like I don't have time to like whenever I get some time at the end of the day, I got like an hour or two to do something fun. I don't want to spend an hour and two troubleshooting why my stupid Wi-Fi router isn't connected to my headset and why it's so damn heavy and heating up the back of my head. Like I just don't want to dig with it. I want to dig with it. But I mean, a Quest 3 is a good product. The hardware per dollar, like the power per dollar you get in machinery is really good value on the Quest 3. I hate Meta. Like again, my rant earlier about data being sold, I try to not utilize any Meta products. So I mean, like I use Facebook Messenger only for one group chat. And even then, that started slowly being pulled out into Discord. And then I'm kind of want to pull it out of Discord to somewhere else, but I haven't figured out where I really want that to live. I just want to build my own stuff for everything. because I'm slowly becoming a crazy tinfoil hat person. So I need to build out my own signal and then go from there for messaging people. That's what I need. It jailbroken. Ooh, you say that, man. Back in my wee little middle school days, I think, maybe it was high school, I remember jailbreaking iPhones for the App Store. And that was like, oh, it was badass. I had a jailbroken iPhone. I could download any $2 app for free. Let's go. Oh, man. It was great. I waited 1 year for a jailbreak and then flashed it with the Enterprise Edition of the software without the tracking. Ooh. I bought my mother a MetaQuest 2 when they were new because I thought she might like it. Turned out she didn't. But at that point in time, I think it was before, or rather, I know it was before they required you to be signed in with a Facebook account to use it. And then they forced that requirement. She never logged in. I never logged in because it was hers at her house. And if you don't log in after they put that enforcement in place, I think it bricks. I don't know. She ended up giving it to my brother, which probably pawned it off or something. I don't think he still has it. But yeah, stupid Meta. I also use Matrix. It works lovely. Self-hostable. Haven't heard it, but I like the last 3 words you said. But yeah, I'm gonna go figure out what the fiance's up to, figure out what the dinner plans look like, and maybe dick with this some more offline. Pretty excited about the GPT stuff. Both the gaming and programming channel is the same on Twitch, so you'll see no difference. But on the YouTube side, I do have them separated a bit. But feel free to check this out. What we did earlier on. See what Claude Fable accomplished before we got things running, and see how each model, what they did, how they were able to continue the project. It looks like GPT 5.5 continued the project the best. I have the most use. I have the most tokens because I have the biggest subscription to Gemini. But holy fucking hell, Gemini. Stop asking me for everything. I've told you to run so many times. I've disabled all the permissions. I've reset this thing. I've had this launched in admin mode with the permissions disabled, and it's still asking me to allow it to do everything. As far as I'm concerned, this renders it unusable because I don't want to sit here and keep hitting spacebar. Like, it makes it to where I can't even watch like a YouTube video because I got to keep looking over at this thing. And then Claude 4.8 did pretty good. It didn't do as much as GPT did, but I was able to very easily guide Claude into finishing out the work that it did not succeed in doing. And hey, look at that. I got a Vaporeon.
Oh, that looks
so nice.
you.
And then if you want to, never mind, I won't do that. But yep. I'll see you guys. I tend to be only live on Sundays and Mondays, so hopefully I'll be live tomorrow. But we don't have a super strong schedule. Most of the time it's just Sundays and Mondays. So see you tomorrow if I can see you. I'm hoping to. But peace out, Girl Scout. Bye! The stop stream button isn't working.